Still not going? Going? Maybe. Anyway, so Lydia,
Yes.
lovely to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
And thank you for being such a fun, willing participant to just extend the craziness that started with Peter.
Yeah, 100%. I've known Peter for a few years now. Obviously, met her through powerlifting, and we've kind of kept. We started out because we had the same coach originally, which we both have different coaches now. But
Right.
we've
Who
sort
was the coach back then?
Tomaselli.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So that was originally how I met Peter because we were both masters lifters.
Hmm.
But we've both gone in different directions coaching wise now. But we've kind of like kept, I guess, half an eye on each other's careers as we've gone along. Like, yeah.
Yeah, right. I saw that you're coached by Brian Cook, which we
Correct.
can either talk about now or later, but I love Brian. I knew Brian when he
Brian's
first started out.
great.
Isn't he?
Um, so I'll tell you the funny story about when I first met Brian. So I went and did a comp in WA in 2021 when Ruchi's was
Right.
still Ruchi's and was
Hmm.
like I'm really glad that I went and did a comp there when it was like Ruchi's in its heyday, I guess. Um, so I got invited to a comp there and went over there on my own. This was obviously sort of 2021 after COVID, but still there were sort of like little lockdowns happening here and there.
Hmm.
So anyway, went over there and was over there on my own at this big comp, and I'm obviously you meet people through powerlifting, and met a girl through powerlifting, and she's like, "Oh, this is my coach Brian," and I'm like, "Hey, how you going? I'm Lydia," and had no idea who Brian was, and was getting ready to squat, and like obviously getting wear wraps, and was getting ready to wrap, and Brian came over. I now realise he's a very helpful person. He came over and he goes, "You're Lydia," and I go, "Yep," and he goes, "You probably want to start rapping now." And I was like, "Who is this guy coming over, just taking it upon himself to tell me what to do?" Like, anyway, he that was fine. And then when I was warming up for bench, because I get a handout for bench, I sort of looked around the warm up room to try and find someone who looked like they knew what they were doing. And I was like, oh, how bad can this guy be? Anyway,
Give him a
yeah,
shot. Why not?
yeah. he's. I was like, oh, he's kind of little, but it'll be okay. So he lifts out. I was like, oh, he's still kind of jacked. It's okay. So he lifted out my bench for me, and then one of my very best friends in Victoria, Ari, messaged me and he goes, "Oh my God, how do you know Brian Cook? How did you get Brian Cook to lift out for you?" And I'm like, "Who's Brian Cook?" Anyway, we just sort of crossed paths a few times, and um, the thing that I really liked about Brian, like one of the reasons I went with him as a coach, is he's very professional. He's very good with his athletes. I feel like he's actually one of the underrated's not the right word, but if you look at Brian's results and his athletes, he's an extremely good coach.
How about the overachiever? How would that sound?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Like, I think we forget. I think when you're not in WA, it's easy to kind of forget how big WA is and how many comps they have in the athletes. And it's
Hmm.
like Brian's athletes are always on the podium. Like they're always on the podium. They're always doing really well. Like they're
Yeah.
just, but he doesn't really push. It's not like you open your Instagram and you're covered with Brian. Like I like for me having been at a very well known franchise as well. I really like at this period in my life and as an athlete, I don't need to be on social media. I don't need 17 people to reshare my stories. I don't need that. And so for me, like when it's not like it's just that when you see your story pop up on the feed, you're doing a good job. But he coaches a really wide variety. I think any coach who coaches a really wide variety of athletes in across multiple, like, you know, tested, untested, equipped, wraps, sleeves, you know, juniors, masters, you know, men, women. I think when you can see, you know, tiny little girls, there's me, like there's, you know, there's bigger people. You've got people like Darwin, whose career, you know, like so many
Yep.
of us. And yeah, it was just a really good change for me, and it's one of the better changes I've made. But I can honestly say that I've never had a bad experience changing coaches. Like, in all honesty, it's how I describe it is not that I've had heaps, but it's like it's just a new chapter in the book. And I'll always be grateful for everything that I took off the person. And I think a lot of people stay with coaches. I think not enough people look at this as a business transaction, and I think too many people stay with the coaches they're at because of loyalty or teammates, or you know, that I think so much of today's society is wanting this sense of belonging, and you know, it's almost this tribal universal village, and I think people stay for that reason. And look, for you know, for the majority of powerlifters who don't ever want to be elite athletes, they don't desire to, or without sounding funny, might not have the ability or talent to be, they're probably perfectly fine. But I think I always find it interesting, like, I've watched so many people in my career change coaches, and I think, other than maybe one or two, it's always been a positive. Like, it's always been a positive decision. Yeah. Mm.
Why do you think it's how come you think it's so positive? Like, let's think about it through. Is it do you think it's just a novelty? Is it really a case of like just different people walking different parts of the journey together, and maybe at different times in your life you're just not quite aligned with different people and the way they
Yep.
want to get there. Yeah.
I think that sometimes it's like it's a bit of a combination of all of those things. I think sometimes, like, saying the honeymoon period's over is probably quite a wide range to say it, but I think that there comes a point in your relationship where, um, you know, like, it's the novelty, I guess, has worn off. You're at a point where you're probably both becoming complacent in your relationship, and I think maybe there's, you know, there's often some frustration, or there's other factors that come into it too. Like, I've seen a lot of, I guess, probably one of the biggest factors I see of athletes leaving coaches is they don't feel valued, and value comes in all different forms. Value can be, I don't feel I'm getting value for my money, like I'm paying X and I don't feel like I'm getting what I pay. And value could be, I don't feel like this person, like, even socially values me or sees me as an important part of their team. So I think, and I think that can be, like, those lines can become very blurred too in that relationship. And I think that, you know, one of the biggest things I can say is you really do have to treat coaching like it's a business transaction, and it's no different from paying someone to paint your bathroom. If you get someone in to paint your bathroom and you're like, hey, I've got a bathroom, how much is it going to cost to paint this? I want it blue and I want all the trim white, and that's what I want it done, and I want it done by the end of, you know, next month. If you go home and your bathroom's green and it's got, you know, black trim, and it took them 3 months to do it, and it's a shit job, you'd have no hesitation in sacking that painter. But it's like, why do we as athletes go, oh, but you know, my coach has just got a lot on and they're really busy, and you know, like, I don't know, like, it's
Oh
just
my goodness, it's so refreshing to hear you say that, because it's not personal. Like,
mm,
I went so my career wound up at end of 2016. So I went 2007 to 2016. Self-coached most of that time. I did work a couple of times with some friends just to
mm,
see how they program. Fortunately, my friends are all world champions,
yeah,
so I get really cool programming.
yeah,
Um, and what we and that that was our frustration all the time, watching people just like sticking, like almost defending the coach. And I go,
Yeah.
that that sounds more like an abusive relationship. Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't speak about a boyfriend or a girlfriend like that. Like you're going, it's just another relationship you have in your life, and there should be
Yeah.
clear boundaries. And
And
part of that relationship is deciding what value looks like in that relationship. And if I'm only working with you because I'm desperate to get my deadlift up and my deadlift is stalled and I don't think you've got any more ideas to try, I'm going to go, hey, we tried. Hey,
yeah.
nothing personal. Let's get a beer next time we see each other at a comp. But I'm going to go and try the next person along in the line and see if they can fix my deadlift.
Yeah. And
Um,
sometimes it can be, and I don't want this. Australia's a small place, and I certainly don't like. I'll just say blatantly, I'm very grateful to Thomas Lilly for everything that he did for me. But I also think I also wasn't like, I'll openly say there were probably times I wasn't a great client either. So I
you like it's all relationships, isn't it?
it
Like you learn
is,
from
it
one
is,
relationship and go,
and yep. And you know what? Sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's
yeah,
like it just for whatever reason. And for other people out there, you watch other people go with other coaches and it works really well. And I was like the hardest thing is I think the biggest reason too people don't like one of the biggest reasons people don't want to change is I was very scared that I would go backwards. I was like it's
oh yeah.
and
I
I'll
think
open like at the moment, like all coaches, it's like athletes, like even equipment, like everyone wants an SBD belt, or everyone like coaches have phases, like you'll see like this person's great, or it's like is everybody going to start squat benching and deading twice a day 7 days a week because Agata does, like that's what we're all
yeah,
going to.
remember, like I used to make that same joke about bodybuilders in the '90s. That
Yeah.
if you told people that, well, remember, people did said bull testicles were the way to go, and I know so many guys that started tracking
Yeah.
down bull's testicles to eat.
Yeah.
But if you said if you stand in the mall on one leg at midday for 7 minutes basking in the sun, you'll get bigger arms.
Yeah.
Guys would be out there doing it.
Oh,
Like
100%.
we're so silly like that. Just
Yeah.
because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's the way to go. But
Yeah.
you know, it's
And
always
so
fun to watch the trends.
yeah, like you go to yourself, oh, but this is like I'm with this person, and how like how could I possibly get better under someone else if this person is the best coach that there is and he's coaching the best in the world? How am I ever going to get better under someone else? And as I said to you, it's not just me. It's not just a series of me going from coach A to coach B. I've seen it like off the
Mm.
top of my head, and we definitely won't go into who it is. I've probably seen it work badly once. Like I've watched someone like not go well, but that's one person out of I've watched dozens of powerlifters' careers, and it's like I've even watched. Like I've got people around me like that obviously in the gym that I train, and I've watched probably in the last couple of months I've watched 3 or 4 people that I know relatively well change coaches, and it's been to the betterment of them all. In all honesty, like they've all got better, and so and better. It's a configure. It's one of those things. What's the measure that we're using? They got stronger. Did their technique get better? Did they get PBs at comp? Like, are they a happier person? All of like it's all of those things. Like, do they feel
Yeah.
less stressed day to day? Does the program suit them better? There's so many factors, and you should never feel bad. Like, you'll know that a coach isn't very good at what they're doing if they take it personal. Like, if the coach is like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
like,
I've seen that. I've seen that happen. And I think I think it's a fact. This newer generation possibly taking it a little bit too personally, the coaching stuff, and you
yeah,
see how that there's almost this codependence. And I've seen a couple of times now that it looks more like a breakup of a teenage romance than somebody just paying a different person to be their powerlifting coach.
yeah, yeah,
And so for me coming back into the sport, it's I don't know, it's kind of I don't want to say comical, but it's getting that way. I'm just going, hey guys, it's just powerlifting. It's not personal.
yeah,
Um, you
yeah. Like,
should
and
be. I think, and I still have this silly belief that if you stick around in powerlifting for long enough, your character should you should be revealed with your character is improving as well, because I still have this belief that strength makes better people,
I'm
and
Yeah, as far as like a coachable athlete or an athlete, athlete slash powerlifter,
mhm.
I'm definitely a better athlete. At the end of like over the last few years, I've one of the things that I'll say, Nathan, that I think sums me up my whole powerlifting career is I've survived my own ego and come out the other side. And
that's that's the best thing about masters powerlifters, right? You just go,
yeah,
hey, I'm still in the gym. I've
yeah,
got enough
like
right. I keep coming back. I'm
Yep.
here.
I literally
You know.
look like, and there's, like I said, there's things when I say, I was not the best, like, there's times where I've not been the best athlete. Absolutely. There's definitely times I've been, like, an absolute nightmare. And people who would know me would be laughing at that because I've definitely known people, through this journey, people have seen the best and the worst of me, like, the people who are close to me. And, like, I'm way more now. Like I couldn't if my coach wants to come to comp and can travel and come to comp and look after me. That's amazing. Like having my biggest thing so much these days is not like I can completely understand if people can't travel halfway around the country. Like
Mhm.
it's not like, and that's where everyone's different. Some people pay coaches to travel, some people don't. Whatever there's no hard and fast. But if you can't come, Brian's in WA. If you can't come to, Capo Nationals in Brisbane, I don't have a problem with that. I completely understand. I've got other people who can help me. And my biggest issue is as I've got older is I just don't want to load my own plates.
It's just so I used to have I had that issue when I traveled internationally so much, because it was always, well, for the most of the time, it was me by myself. So I was
Yeah.
in warm up rooms by myself, putting bench shirts on by myself, wrapping my own knees. So the best thing to do was to become everybody's friend,
Yes.
and so
Yep.
that's how I met everyone. Is like,
Yeah.
so I'd become friends with the Swedes and the Finns, and
Yep.
uh, uh, Team Great Britain used to look after me, and the Americans were really kind to us as well. So I got all these extra little training secrets and helped out, because I don't want to be loading plates by myself and trying to
Yeah.
squeeze in. So
And I also
that
think, in time I remember, I think one of the biggest, like I look back now, and one of the things that really stuck in my mind is I remember, because I sort of came into powerlifting. One of my favorites is Yuri Belkin, and
mhm.
I remember like Yuri always travels on his own, wraps his own knees, does everything himself. And someone asked him one day, like, you can imagine the lineup of us, like, who wouldn't want to help Yuri Belkin? And my mate who I talked about earlier, Ari, he looked after Yuri, like drove him around and helped him out when he was here in Australia for Big Dogs, when he did Big Dogs.
Mhm.
And I remember, like, I went to that Big Dogs and watched him. And one of the things was he said, if you look after yourself, you only ever have yourself to blame.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is so true. And I mean, I also my main issue was it's like I've got such fragile knees that if they're not wrapped well and not wrapped by me, they will explode. So I literally can't risk anyone else wrapping my knees. So that's like if I've got someone who can load plates and like, pass me my belt and do all that, so it means so much to me. And like it's been one of the big things for me that's been hard, like as funny as it sounds when I say I've survived my own ego is um I go to comps and it's like I forget, this sounds really wanky, but I forget like people know who I am. Do you know what like you know what I mean? Like, and people are all like I'll hear people, oh my god, that's that girl with that massive deadlift, and like blah, blah, blah. And it's like people want to help you out, and it's like it's been a really like odd thing to have that happen, like in this community of like people are like I've like things like I remember saying to a girl at a comp, that was a super bench, like you should be so proud of that, and she goes, oh my god, that means the world to me that you've said that. And I'm like, god, I'm no one. Like,
So
so yeah, it's
what's that?
it's it's a
Tell
funny
me more
journey
about
powerlifting.
tell me more about what that recognition feels like, because it's almost like kind of like being famous, but just within a small community, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so my boyfriend laughs all the time now because we actually live in different states and we travel.
Hmm.
We spend time together at comps. That's how we met. We met through powerlifting, and he always he's got this thing like he thinks he's got the routine down pat now. He always goes when we rock up to a comp. He's like, well, I have to wait for everyone to speak to you first, and everyone has to get it out of their system and come and say hello to you, and then then it'll just be normal again after that. So it's it's funny because it took me a long time to be at peace with. um I think I look back now and I look back and I don't know what I ever really wanted out of powerlifting. Like I got into powerlifting because I started out in strongman,
Hmm.
and the trouble I had with strongman is I was getting hurt all the time. Like I,
It's strongman. That's that's what it's
yeah,
there for. It's
yeah,
it's a bunch of shit we made up when we were
yeah. I
drunk
know.
one time,
So
and it got out of hand.
yeah, I know. And so because you got to be good at like 32 different things, and
Oh my
so
god, I love
yeah,
that. I love that.
yeah, I just kept getting hurt. Like I was okay at it. I'm not very
Yep.
tall. I'm only just 5'3". So anyway, it was like so. I said to my coach at the time, I guess I'd always wanted to be competitive at something. I used to show horses at a really high level, so I've always
Oh,
had
did
like,
you?
yeah, yeah. So I've always had a
Okay,
bit of
now that's
yeah,
interesting. I like that.
yes,
That's we'll
yeah.
come back to
So,
that.
and I always so one of the expressions that I used to have showing horses is because I mainly really enjoyed showing. I had Western horses, halter horses. Halter horses are like the beauty pageants of the horse world. So halter
Okay.
horses are not useful for anything other than to look purely decorative. They are literally, they are literally a manufactured
Wha-
horse that
Wow.
they
Okay.
are literally like so they're like bodybuilders. They're Western breeds, so they're the ones that are like we've genetically engineered them pretty much that they're like dripping in muscle, but we've bred them. It's a bit like French bulldogs in regards to we've influenced them to have big poppy eyes and big eyelashes and little tiny ears and big open nostrils and like dishy heads and long necks and huge big bums and thighs and like I just I loved them because they were like little bodybuilders.
Right.
And so I used to show halter horses, and you go out and you like a beauty pageant, you parade them
Hmm.
around, and you're like, mine's the nicest one out here. And we used to have an expression that we used to say, you've got to go out there and you've got to dare the judge not to give you first. Like you've got to go out there and you've got to because it's real. It's like real psychological as well. You've got to like show them off and they're off their heads. Like most of them are really highly strung and they're like I've shown colts, they're full of hormones. They're like it's like an extreme sport. They'll like take off on you and like I wonder how I got so strong. It was hanging on to those suckers, I tell you. Um, and so and I used to you start out and you win ribbons, and then the shows progress, and then you win garlands with flowers, and then you win belt buckles, and you win trophies, and then you win prize money, and it's a bit like powerlifting. I think what I've discovered over the years is sports are fundamentally the same. It's just different.
Yeah.
Like car racing is like powerlifting. Like it's all kind of the same. It's just different tools and different like outcomes at the end of the day. But it's very like high level athletes will all be able to sit in a room together and understand each other. Whether it's like I've had the privilege to work with like Mark Webber in a charity event, and it's like that sense of like I don't doubt it's any different from standing in a room with Yuri Belkin. Like it's the same presence and it's the same degree of success. And like you would know, Nathan, you can tell when someone's world class. Like
Yeah.
there's just
Right.
it's not arrogance. It's just you just know they're that good.
They just move a little bit different
Yeah,
because they've been moving different for a while, and
yeah,
so it shows the way they
yeah,
carry themselves. And yeah.
yeah. And some people are just it's no different from you don't have to know horses. Some people are just beautiful to watch. Like you watch people like not every power lifter is aesthetically pleasing. Like there's power lifters out there that don't have great technique. Like textbook, but there's just something about watching them that you'll just it's like there's moments where people are just they'll watch someone like who you're never gonna not like. Nat Lalai and I obviously talk a bit. We're both big deadlifters. You're never gonna not watch Nat deadlift. You're never gonna not
Right.
stop and watch Nat deadlift. You're never gonna not watch Chris Yip deadlift. Like you're gonna stop if the moment that boy walks out onto the platform, you are gonna stop and watch him deadlift. No one's ever going to go to Worlds and not stand there and watch Agata. And you could have watched her 50 times and you're still going to stand there and watch her. Like, Sunita's going to walk out into the platform. You know you're in the presence of greatness. Like, there's just something about those people. And so I think for me, like, powerlifting was... So I got into powerlifting because I was getting injured, started powerlifting. And I honestly... So my first powerlifting comp, I went and got some advice off. I had a coach, but I went and got some advice off Matt McKay, and I've got
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Another
yeah,
one of
yeah,
my guys. Yeah,
yeah,
one of my
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
yeah. So I've got some pretty horrific knee issues, but like that would take up a whole podcast on itself. So to cut a long story short, so you understand, and this makes people understand why I squat, how I squat. I have no forward knee travel at all, none, zero. So I've got no cartilage left in my knees. I've got bone on bone. So I need to have dual knee replacements. Like it's just a matter of days. I've got severe osteoarthritis, so I have no forward knee travel. So I
Yep.
hinged completely off, like I hip hinge back. It used to be a very good morning style squat. In wraps, it's not as good morning as it used to be. So, but there's just my shins are perfectly vertical the whole time I squat. So, and if you stand next to me when I squat heavy in wraps, you'll hear my femur bones drive into my lower shin bones, and they make like a really nice ratcheting noise. It's delightful.
Yeah, my
Um,
hip used to do that before I had the replacement. It would just like
yeah,
click, 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 click,
yeah,
click, click all the way down as it
and
just yeah.
people hear it and they go, "Oh, is that the rubber in your wraps?" And you go, "No, it's actually my
I wish.
bones."
I
Yeah.
wish that would.
So
Does that hurt? They go, yeah, it's all
yeah.
right. It's
So
fine.
I just never knew. I from the very get go, I knew that I would struggle to get a squat in depth, and I started in PA, like IPF, like most
Hmm.
powerlifters in Australia. So I squatted in sleeves and went to my first comp, and like I was gonna just token squat. I was like, I'll just do the barbell, like because I had a okay bench and I always had a pretty good deadlift anyway. So I went to my
Yep.
first comp and I think I totaled something like 380 or 370 or something, 360, something like that. I squatted under 100, benched maybe 75 or something. And this is at I was 114 kilos, I think, at the time,
Right.
and pulled maybe like 150 or 160 or something like that. And so, but just from that moment on, just loved it because
Just in.
the thing
What
about
was that? What
powerlifting
was
is
that first comp?
it was like a raw strength comp in Tassie, and I
Oh,
think
okay. One of Matt's comps.
yeah, one of Matt's comps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Cool.
did. Then I think I did maybe two or maybe three PA comps here in Tassie, and then went to because I was 40 when I started, and then
Hmm.
went to Masters Nationals, and so
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
won Masters Nationals,
What year
and
was that?
was just hooked from that moment on. Like loved it because the thing about powerlifting for me is it's controllable. It's squat, bench, deck. Like it's not log in 17 variations. It's not stone to shoulder, stone over bar, stone to 1.5 meters, like stone for reps, or
Which side?
87 different incantations of deadlift.
And which size bar are we going to use this week?
Yeah,
And
like
what height? So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, or just all of it. And so I realized that okay, my whole thing was we'll just keep seeing how far we can push it. Like we'll just keep seeing how far we can go. And so I sort of did that. This was kind of towards the start of the demise of PA, I guess. So PA
Mhm.
was having its own. We won't go down that political road. PA was having its own little nervous breakdown over here,
So
and so
what year was that one? I want to see which nervous breakdown for PA this one is because there was a
that was
couple.
when did I start in powerlifting? I started in. I feel like I want to say I started in. How long have I been doing it? It must have been 2017. So
Oh
maybe
man, we missed each other by such a short period of time.
yeah. So I think I
You
went to
literally your
nationals
first.
in 2018 or 2019.
Okay, so I missed you probably by a year or so.
Yeah, yeah. So I came into PA. This is this is probably one of the easiest ways to figure the demise. I came into PA, and I think it was one of the last comps that JP coached at, because I remember watching JP coaching at the Nationals and was so impressed by him. And I'm still a huge JP Couchy fan to this day. Um,
My
so
favorite thing at junior nationals, along with Amir Fazeli, we both loved playing this game when JP was starting out as a coach. He was so easy to outfox in a deadlift battle
oh, it
because
would have been.
he was so young and so full of ego, and it was almost like he had this belief that he could talk people into being stronger.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
But
and without him ever knowing at the time, me and Amir would actually conspire and just play games with him because
oh,
we thought it was fun.
it's the best. It's the best. Do you know one of, and I, like, even if I tell you this on a podcast, it'll still work to this day. I've openly at comps, like, I've obviously, like, because I've coached. And so I've had athletes I've been handling or coaching at comps, and I'm talking complete strangers, people I don't even, like, I've outfoxed complete strangers. So I've literally stood there at the desk, and as you know, you're watching deadlifts because you're thinking, how much more has this guy got in him? Like, you're trying to obviously outfox everyone. And I've literally watched athletes RPE 10 a second deadlift. Like, I'm talking,
It's like it was a
mate,
12-second grinder, and
RPE 10,
they
and
look
they've
like they're
walked
blacked out.
over. I've like stalked them and realised they've got no handler or no coach, and no one's
Uh-huh.
been around them. And they've walked over to the desk, and you know that moment where someone's standing there and they go, and they're like, they're weighing up, and you're like, you're there, and you know you need your athlete to beat them, but you need them to fail their third because they're pulling after. And so I've literally stood there and gone, I know that might have felt really slow, but it moved really well.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. No, you're
Yeah, it's
right.
pretty
You're
good.
good.
And I'm like, today's the day. Like, and you know, it's like they're about to do a benchmark, so they've just pulled like 287, and you're like, you've got 300. You've got 300. Today's the day. Like I believe in you, and you can see them there, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like today's the day. The skin is hanging off the palm of their hands, and they're like, yeah, 300, and you're thinking, I am going to watch this
Wow.
barbell not even move. I need to leave the building before this
It's
lifts
gonna be
up.
one of those ones where it looks like somebody's just welded it to the platform. It's like
100%.
nothing, just
And
nothing.
and then I've had to
Oh
stand there and go,
dear.
oh, geez, I thought you had that. And then you watch your lifter go out and go, bang. And they're like, oh, now they're in second. And you're like, oh, got ya. So
Oh, I hope people don't start doing this because it's a little bit mean. But I used to
it,
just like saying things like going, "Oh, you're gonna do a third, okay?"
yeah. Or trying not to. The other one is trying not to act surprised. I've been at comps, watch someone grind out a lift, and they're not even, they're 30 kilos behind me. Like, they're not even anywhere near a threat. And I've gone, oh, how was that? And they're like, yeah, not bad. And I was like, oh, what are you gonna load next? And I was like you said, I've watched it. And then they go like, oh, I'm gonna do, like, they'll tell you they're gonna do a 20-kilo jump, and you're trying not to go, but you're like, oh, okay. No worries. I'm sure you've got it.
So,
It is.
so apparently, I don't remember being like this. Actually, I do. It describes me perfectly. I was very straightforward, especially at a powerlifting comp. With if somebody even looks like they're asking for an opinion, I'll just give it to them.
Yeah.
Um, which sometimes, like 10 years down the track, makes some funny stories. I've spoken to this guy in the gym a few times now. He's really cool. I like him a lot. And he said, "You saved my life." One time at a comp, I go, "Did I really?" Thank you're welcome. You're welcome. What did I do? And he goes, "You slapped a bottle of ammonia out of my hand." And I go, "Yeah, sounds like something I'd do. Why did I do it? Why did?" And he goes, "You looked at my bench." And you looked at me, and I was about to take ammonia for my third attempt, and you took it out of my hands, and you said, "You're not strong enough for that yet. Leave it alone." And I go, "Yeah, that's definitely something I would say." I then asked him, I said, "How much were you benching?" Goes, oh, slightly less than my body weight. I go, oh, so I was right then. He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, so you know,
You got to
come on,
earn that.
give me credit, man. Like if you're mentioning your body weight, just leave the ammonia alone. That's fun for later.
Yeah,
That can be down the track, but right now, kid, you don't need that. Leave it
yeah.
alone.
It's like third deadlifts are always like I've always the one thing. I look, whether it's luck, talent, genetics, skill, strength, whatever. I'm a very good deadlifter. Like
Mm-hmm.
and it's my favorite. It always has been, and I'll always like. I just, it's the one time I feel at home in my whole existence is on the platform, no matter what the comp is. When I walk out there to pull a deadlift, this is I'm an absolute believer
That's
in
your
it's my thing,
that's your
and I
flow spot.
honestly, and I think regardless of whether it was my thing, I think deadlifting is one of the true I really think it's one of the true indicators of strength. It's not the only indicator of strength, but I think that people's ability, how people deadlift, is really how they live their life. Like
I always thought
100%.
I always thought deadlifting was this slightly annoying thing that was stopping me from drinking beer at the end of the combat. I've already won. Just let me drink beer now.
No, no,
Why do we have to deadlift?
bench is a slightly annoying thing that we all have to do, but you
You're right.
disagree. Um, so I think for me, like the one thing I think the amount of comps that I've seen people lose on not being able to pull third deadlifts because
Yeah, that's
like
true. That's true.
without giving my own life strategy away, if you can't out squat my deadlift, you're in trouble. Like
Yeah.
because I will like that's the thing. I will. My comp days usually go. Squats usually leave me like if we're talking a big, a decent sized weight class, maybe 8 or 10. At nationals,
Hmm.
squats I'll usually be in the bottom third,
Right.
like in the bottom half without a doubt. So I'm not a great squatter.
And that's kind of you maxed out with
Yep, yep,
buggered knees and
yep. And
knees
that's
that won't
usually
pinch properly and
yep. So like that's me on a great day. Like, and that's assuming I get all three squats. So
so what sort of numbers are we talking about there?
So my squat last comp 225.
225. And you said at your first comp you squatted less than 100.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
yeah,
So
you can
225.
do it.
That's in reps.
Yeah, yep. And one of the
Um,
reasons
out
I
of
think,
mono. So reps
yeah,
in
but I
mono.
don't. I walk out.
I still see. I have to do that too, even though I've
Yep,
known Henry and the Muscle Boot guys since
yep.
2006, and I very rarely trained there back in the day, and I almost never down there now. But I still find monoliths really, really awkward
I
when the
can't.
bars swing away. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
what are you
I
doing?
can't.
Yeah, it feels
Like
unnatural.
I think, look, it started because I did a bit in APL. And so
Hmm.
APL started out with walkout. And then I just
Right.
found that I just can't set my brace. I literally, without standing, well, the first time I think everyone should remember back to the first time they ever used the mono as a mono. I think I pissed myself and dropped the barbell.
Oh shit.
So, so no, I still, and everyone, thing is, you know how like Americans seem to think it's a real badge of honor to walk your squats out? They somehow think it makes you better. Australians don't. They think you're stupid.
Yeah, go, what are you doing that for? You don't need to do
Yeah.
that. Stop it. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Marcos every year at Pro Raw says to me, they've invented this thing now where you don't have to do that. And I'm like, I
Right.
know, but and I'm the sketchiest, Nathan. I'm the sketchiest. It's not like I walk out like I'm
Not a
in
strong walkout.
charge. I walk out like I'm gonna die.
Oh man, you're one of those. I've
Yeah,
known a
hundred
few people
percent.
like that. Like
But
right up until the point
yep,
that you get a squat call, it looks like everybody in the
yep,
platform is in
and
for a world to hurt.
yep, and you'll know exactly what I mean. I squat like an equipped squatter, so I squat wide. So it
Right.
takes
So
me,
why? So
yeah,
old wide stance, slow
yeah, it takes
down.
me a couple of goes to get the feet in the right spot, and then I'm like, good to go now.
Dance about like a cat getting ready to lie down
Yeah,
on the cushion.
yeah,
Yep.
and then
Okay. I gotcha.
sometimes I'll hear people go, just re-rack, and I'm like, no way, am I doing this again?
Nah, I'm almost good. I'm getting
Yeah.
there. Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
so I'll always end up sort of bottom half. Bench has
Hmm.
taken me a lot of hard work because obviously long arms, good deadlifter, long arms, shit bencher.
Hmm.
Um, So
Jennifer Thompson says otherwise.
yeah, I
We'll go
know.
with that.
So it's taken me a long time. I got stuck on. I legit tried to bench 120. I think 5 times. I got
Hmm.
stuck on 120, and then I just got past it, and so my best bench now is 135.
Yeah, nice
So
work.
yeah,
Nice.
so what happens is squats I end up bottom half, bench brings me to the middle, like so
Hmm.
bench will bring me back up to the top third, and deadlifts get me over the line. Um, so yeah, you don't want to leave yourself. Like I did a comp here. The last comp that I did here in Tassie was an invitational, and I just
Right.
wanted. I had a really rough water cut in regards to what happened was I cut quite a bit, water cut quite a bit, got to weigh in, and we don't need to go into the politics of it, but I got to weigh in. I'd organised because I had to travel 4 hours to the comp drive. And so I
Yep.
said to them that I had to pick my son up on the way, and I said I would get to weigh in half an hour late. Is there any chance that weighing could be held open for half an hour? Yes, it could. And then when I got there, they'd made the decision that they couldn't. And then I was going to have to weigh in the morning. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And so, because I'd already been 24 hours without food or water. And I
Oh,
was
it's a
like,
bugger.
yeah, I cut like 6 or 7K. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. So they said, oh, well, look, we'll weigh you in tonight, but the chances are we'll check with the officials in the morning, but, weigh in technically close at 6 o'clock or whatever. And I was like,
Hmm.
I'm not going to stand here and argue with people who are going to be doing the red lights tomorrow. Like, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
and honestly, like, so I went back, ate, drank normally, rehydrated, whole 9 yards. I thought I'll just wear it on the chin because the comp was on dots for the prize money, which is why I cut
Hmm.
weight. And it was 2 grand. It was worth winning. So I was like, I'll just see where I'm at in the morning. And I got there in the morning and I wanted to get under 100, and I think I was 101, and I was like, there's a sauna here at the gym. I reckon I can do this. So because I was surprised. I would have honestly thought that I would have like in 12 hours, but my body just didn't hold it. So yeah, I managed to get to back to 99.9. And anyway, all day I was coming third all day. So
Hmm.
squats, bench, and then it came down to the last deadlift, and I was like, it's always a fatal mistake. So my deadlift pulled me. I think my second deadlift pulled me to second, and then my last
Hmm.
deadlift pulled me into first. So yeah, but it was good for the crowd. It was exciting for the crowd. It was
What were
shit.
the? Give us the numbers.
So I think I squatted 217, benched 132 or 135, and pulled 270.
270.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
And
I've
so
pulled.
just I'm not sure who really listens to and
Yeah.
which federations people are coming from. So can you give weight class and best lift for the deadlift and all that? Because that's just a ridiculously large deadlift.
Yeah. So
That's
I.
nuts.
So I've pulled. So I hold the all-time world record for the under 100 class, as in worldwide, all time.
Yep.
So I
Well,
pulled.
so that's the all-time open, isn't it?
Yep, that's all time.
Yep.
So if you look up 100 kilo women,
Yep.
regardless of age, or year or whenever, so all time in the world. So I hold that under 100, which I pulled 272 at 90.6 kilos.
Yeah,
So
that's just insane.
yeah, three
That's
times. Yeah.
yeah. That's just
Um.
it's a nuts number because that 600-pound deadlift for females was
Yeah,
it
it's
just seemed
crazy.
like it was a fantasy mark for the longest time,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
look at you all.
I
Like
know. I
there's
know.
a lot
Like
of you now.
when I
There's a bunch
started
of you do this. It's
when I
nuts.
started, like 220, 230 was huge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like
Well,
I
you look.
remember when I went to WA. I remember Wright Segor saying to me, he walked past the board and he was like, "Oh, someone's opening on like what crazy woman's opening on like 230 or 240." And I
Right.
was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's me. It's me."
You know you're doing well when someone like Wright is going, that's nuts. What
I
do you
know.
that?
I was transfixed by how beautiful he is in the flesh, but
Oh my goodness, he's a slightly different species. I
yeah,
think there's
he is.
some,
He is.
he's part angel.
Yeah, but
It's that
like,
it's that Estonian genetics.
yeah,
They
I,
don't
I
make ugly
remember
people.
like, and I remember that was huge, you know. But now it's like, to be honest, it's kind of like in the particularly in the you know, the open federations, the non-tested federations, like really it's people are opening in the 230s, 240s, in the higher in the more elite,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
more elite level comps, and that's why like I find it crazy when I look at, you know, Lucy and Nat and like Brittany Schlater and people like that. Like, these girls are natty and they are pulling
Hmm.
those numbers and they are squatting those numbers at
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they are unbelievable. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I keep on, reminding people of how great someone like Sonia Menina was from New Zealand when she pulled I think it was 262 and a half when she pulled for the world deadlift record. And that
Yep.
was huge. I'm pretty sure she was M2. It was her first year as an
Yeah.
M2.
Yep.
And that was just huge. And we're going, man, that's nuts. That she was an, absolute queen,
Yeah.
just amazing. And then like 260 is kind of
Yeah.
whatever.
I
It's kind of
remember
it's
like,
humdrum, and that was definitely not a humdrum lift. That was
yeah,
insane.
the record in Australia was 260 or 262 for years, like years and years and years. And then just
Yeah,
like,
who was that?
it was, I'm pretty sure like it was in the non-tested, like just in
Hmm.
open. It
Yep.
was Cleo for a long time.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Cleo for a long time, and then Jess McCallum pulled 280 and it stood, I think she's still second now in on powerlifting, and then Sarah Rainbow pulled 282. She's at the
My
top with
goodness.
282.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
282.
I've got a feeling, because what's Nat pulled now? Is Nat?
Um.
No, I think Nat
Oh,
didn't.
jeepers.
Or maybe
Like
she's
I'm.
pulled
I'm in the.
283.
I'm in the really fortunate position that I see what she does in the gym on a Saturday morning as well.
Oh, okay,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
so I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know which one she's done on the platform.
no,
I
I'm the
was
same. I feel like
at
she has done
at
283.
nationals this year. She put 304 on the bar for the win.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
was I was center referee for that one. That was so awesome. That was just it was legit the best powerlifting atmosphere I've ever been in,
Yep.
and I've been to a bunch of worlds and Arnold Classics, and I've seen all the greats. That was the best ever. Watching the crowd get up for that and
Well,
seeing what I love about Nat. Someone asked her, "What do you think about it?" She goes, "Thinking. I'm not thinking. I'm just doing." And
yeah,
to see how peaceful she is when she deadlifts, I'm still sure she could have locked that out. If she had
yeah.
ever ground a
It's
deadlift in her life before, she's
yeah,
knocking out 304.
yeah.
It was unbelievable.
The
I had tears
Yeah, the
watching
thing
it.
with
It
that
was just
is it's not a grip. Like, it's not a grip. It's just her lockout, and she would know that. It's not like I'm
yeah,
telling her. So I'll tell you a
and
funny
that
story about
and
that.
that and that lockout is just you get that over time with you
Yeah,
just
you
get it.
do.
You
You
get it
do.
late because you end up making a few mistakes and then you learn how to
Yeah,
grind a slightly out of position deadlift and you make 98% feel like 105.
she's
And
very
then you learn how to
tall as
grind and then
well.
you'll get it.
Yeah, she's very tall. Like,
And
I'm only
that
5 foot
never hurts
three.
deadlifters.
Yeah. I'll tell you the funny story about that. So the day before, I'd always had this, like all of us are competitive. It's no,
Mm.
like, that's not a shock. So the reality was, I like, one of the things I've always wanted was I wanted to have the biggest deadlift in Australia. Like, I was
Yep.
like, so I got an all-time world record, and then I was like, but I'm still not. I'm not the
I,
big dog. I'm not the big dog in Australia.
I want the biggest number
Yeah,
on this island. I
yeah.
want control
So
of
I
this
was
damn island,
like,
thanks.
so I was like, and I also, I wanted to pull 300. Like, I was like, but I was like, I'm probably not going to do it raw. I'm going to have to do it in a suit. So I prepped for a comp, and it was the day before Nat loaded up for nationals. So I did
Mhm.
a strongman comp at um Terence Cooper's gym in Melbourne. He runs a massive deadlift comp every year. And
Yep.
so the year before, I got beaten by Big G, Nicole Genrich. And so I was like, I didn't want to lose again, and I wanted to pull the plan was I wanted to, if I could, I wanted to try and pull 300, but I just wanted to get the biggest deadlift in Australia. So I pulled 292. I loaded 300 and got it like mid shin, got it to my knees. The difference between 292 and 300 was like 50 kilos. But so the next day, so I was like, got home that night and we were like, yeah, like won 2 grand, got the biggest deadlift in Australia. I literally was in Lululemon, and one of my best mates, because we were watching nationals as well, one of my best mates goes, Nat's loading up a third. I was like, because I said to her, just let me have it for 24 hours. Just let me have the biggest deadlift for 24 hours. Anyway, Kelsey, my best mate, goes to me, "You'll never believe what she's loaded." And I was like, "Oh, tell me." And we watched it on the phone. She goes, "Oh, she's loaded 304." And I was like, she's got, like, in my brain, I was like, she's got this. Like, I was like, she'll pull that. Like, and then when she didn't pull it, I was both happy and sad.
He's like, oh, but
Yep, I was like,
yeah.
oh, and then I was like, oh, well, still got the big deadlift.
And I tell you the squat numbers as well to go along with it, and not just both the girls in this country and then worldwide.
Yep.
It's not like they're trotting out deadlift specialists. Like these girls are
They're,
smashing out 3
yep.
solid lifts, aren't they?
Yeah, like Lucy's bench, and like I, I really like, and I mean I don't know them. Like I don't want to act like we're friends. I felt for her at Worlds because I know she didn't have the day she wanted to have. Like I know she didn't have the day that she wanted to have, and I know as a powerlifter how that feels. And it's really hard to explain that to people around you when people are like, "Oh my God, you're at Worlds and you still got on the podium for some of your lifts, and you came fourth at Worlds, and you're the fourth best," and you're sitting there
Yeah, but
going,
we've all got mental problems. We're
"Yeah,"
not
you're
there
sitting there
because we're
going, I won like the
you know.
first year. The first year I did APL nationals. The first year I did APL nationals, I won best lifter. Like won my class and won best lifter. I had the shittest day. Like,
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
but how do you say that to people? You've got all these people there that you've just beaten in theory, and you can't act like, not that it's petulant child, but you have to be like, oh yeah, it's great, and you you go home and you're like, whatever. Like,
Mm, uh,
because we
yeah,
never, like, I remember crying. I remember
yeah.
like I did this comp once, and I did it like off season just because I wanted to qualify for a nationals, and I went there and all the lifts were really hard because it was off season. I wasn't peaked and nothing went well, and I was really unhappy with how I went because I think I was still a bit of a baby power lifter, and I didn't realize the difference. I didn't really fully understand the difference between a peak, like peaking for a comp, and
Mm-hmm.
and being unpeaked. Like, can you imagine? Like I can say, oh yeah, I can squat 225. Can you remember deep? Can you imagine deep in the middle of an off season going, I just load 200 and squat it, Lydia? I
Oh,
die.
yeah. See, that's the difference between you and I. I didn't do off seasons, and so my
Yeah,
thing and a few of the guys that I worked with, and it's particularly with my competition schedule, I would always I lived 2 weeks
peaked.
out from a comp always. Like I love this idea from because I started when I was in my teens. I
Yeah.
love this idea about just always being strong.
Is this
Just
like
like
the whole? If
just
you
strong
stay
all the
ready, you don't have to get
yeah.
ready.
I'm maybe a little bit that way. Like I
Yeah,
just like staying ready. I love training so much that I didn't want to be not training.
yeah,
And what I loved about training was being right on the edge most of the time. And I liked the suffering. I liked
yeah.
how my head wanted to burst in the hole when I was wearing a squat suit and knee wraps, and you're trying to hit depth with a lightweight bar.
Oh,
I liked all that stuff. Like
uh,
the more hideous it felt, the more I liked it. So I just wanted to be back there all the time. So
so
that's
the
how I ran. I was
so
always ready.
so the deadlift comp that I did in a suit gave me a whole new appreciation for equipped lifting.
It
And
feels like your head's a zit, doesn't it?
it
You're
is
about to pop.
horrific. It is. It gets better. Like, I'll be honest, I was surprised how quickly it got better. Like, I was
You
surprised.
adjust to it pretty quick, right?
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
it literally, I think I did like maybe a 12-week prep. And it went from, I honestly thought the first 3 weeks, Nathan, I was convinced the suit wasn't going to give me anything. I was like,
That
there is
sounds
no
about right.
way.
Yep.
I was like, I literally was, the only reason I did it was I was like, I can win $2,000.
Yep.
Because not to sound funny, and I've had this conversation, I've got to a point in my career where the last few years, I've kind of paid for my own powerlifting.
Yeah,
Like,
nice work.
yeah, so
That's
I've
the dream.
managed
That's the
to,
dream, right?
yeah,
Cost neutral hobbies.
yeah, literally, probably in the
Yeah.
last, so since 2021, I've never completely done the sums, and I'm just talking prize money. Like, no way I would have made enough money back to survive the sport. I've probably won like 10 or 15 grand. So like, it's been enough to like keep me to justify my decisions. Does that make sense? It
Yeah.
feels like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And it's one of the things I really feel that, other than like Sheffield, like I really feel sad for like APA lifters. Like, I'm glad I see more and more comps now with prize money. But I literally had a conversation with Nat, and I said to her, "Do you realise if you had have done open comps this year, you would have actually been able to make like 10 grand?"
Mm,
Like there was
yeah.
not a, like we're kind of like, Nat's a bit heavier than me, but similar weight class. Like, all of the comps that I did, that I won and took home the money, she would have beaten me. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like as a natural tested lifter. But this is where I feel for like you guys in APA, because you just don't, like, it's sad that you don't have that option.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty the prize money thing is all pretty new, isn't it? Like it's
Yeah.
just
But then,
like we had in my day we had prize money at the Arnold Classic,
oh
but
yeah.
not nowhere close to the level of prize money that we've got now. Like
Mm,
I think every few years the way the sport's getting structured, having more money coming back in for athletes, definitely a
yeah.
good showing. And so I'm hoping with the APA, they all seem to be pretty good at pretty decent business people, the people running it. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to come up with a business model that is sustainable and is going to be a whole lot better for athletes long term.
Because the
Um,
people, just correct me if I'm wrong, people don't win money at nationals, do they?
uh, not that I'm aware of. I think there was something, but I don't think it was a lot of money. There was something being handed out in envelopes. I don't know what it was. I didn't pay a lot of
White
attention, but
powder.
I don't know. More things get handed. I've noticed that more things are handed out now at a powerlifting comp.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what. I don't always know what it was. I just
But
used
then
to
I
get
guess,
a medal and a best lifter trophy, and then go home. That
yeah.
was my
But
reward.
but do they get some sort of, like, forgive my ignorance, but do then, like, for someone, if they qualify for worlds, do APA contribute to the world's trip, or how does that work?
At the moment, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think that's one. I think that's one of the objectives. Um,
Yeah, okay.
previous, like both. I think.
Don't say
I
anything.
think PA tried it in the past and never quite as successfully as what
We
people
won't
would
go there.
hope. Uh,
Yeah.
let's just this is one of those times where you just pause and act like
Mm,
everything's frozen
yeah.
and go,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we didn't
Anyway.
say anything. Um, I would love to see more funding
Yeah.
for
Look,
everyone involved, really, but it's a really hard one to manage.
I see
I
your
like being
comps.
involved.
Yeah.
I
I
like being
see.
involved as a coach, but I don't. Coaching powerlifters isn't my main business, so I like my involvement as a hobby still is
Mm,
sort of that regard, and so it starts getting a little bit blurry. Who can afford it? Who can be involved? Who can't? So,
yeah.
but as long as we have administrators in the sport, this is my soapbox rant, and then I'll stop. As long as we've got administrators that are looking to be expansive, a little bit progressive, and more inclusive, we're all gonna find the right direction
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. And that's, I feel like from the outside looking in, that's definitely starting to happen. And I've got like the gym where I train in Tassie it probably hasn't. Oh, look, if I'm honest, there's probably more APA lifters in there than the rest of us to put us all together.
What is your gym? What is your gym that
So
you
I
where do
train
you
out of
train?
so I train out of Leviathan Strength in
Hmm.
Moona near Hobart, which is where Jack Dunn coaches out of. So Jack was assistant coach on the last Worlds team with Victor.
Oh, okay. So good looking young blonde fella. Is that the one?
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We
yeah,
got a few of them in the APA. We attract
yeah,
very attractive young men with blonde hair.
yes, yes.
We all form them
There's a
in the same.
similar.
We form them in the image of Alex Hayes, and we just
I was gonna
keep
say
replicating
Stephen
every
Day.
couple of years.
Like I feel like there's a
Right, we
few.
need more that
Yeah,
we have a type.
yeah, 100%, 100%. So yeah, so
Yeah, okay,
Jack,
yeah, I know who you're talking to
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I had a chat with him at nationals this year.
yeah,
He coaches I think she's 63 kilo lifter.
Abby,
Really,
yeah.
really strong
Yes.
girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's got some really good, and he's got a really good junior or sub junior 105 or yeah,
Hmm.
that he won at juniors.
And
Like
is that who's running bench nationals?
no, different different
Different again. Okay.
different again.
So
So that's
do you know much about that one or so it spins me out that Hobart has so many great gyms now. It just spins me out.
it's interesting. It's so yeah. Um the bench nationals is being run at Catalyst Strength, which is like
Okay.
10 minutes drive down the road. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's a smaller. I would describe that as a boutique gym. So
Right.
yeah, so that was an interesting decision to me for bench nationals. To be honest,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
not a huge space. But that's cool. I'm assuming I think I had a look at how many people were at bench nationals. I feel like it's only one day. Is it like bench national?
I'm pretty sure it's a one day event, yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, that'll be there. But there's three or four quite I would term large APA gyms
Hmm.
in Tassie. And then there's a few other gyms scattered around that are like a bit of a amalgamation as such, yeah, of
Right.
all different
Right.
types. Leviathan's very much it's probably one of the few gyms, I'll be honest with you. You know how gyms tend to have they'll either be that gyms either tend to be like you'll get a GPC gym or an APA gym or a bodybuilding gym
Yeah,
or
that's it, yeah.
yeah,
There's a brand.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you can kind of walk in and where you like you can look around and go,
It's
oh,
just
okay, all combos and
see
like
that was there's like, walk back in the day walking into the muscle pit and seeing Shannon Florenson and go, "Yeah, I know where I am."
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
hundred
Yeah.
percent,
Okay. No. Yep.
yeah,
We know
yeah.
what's going on here.
Yep,
We
like
good.
you can walk into Doherty's and like what's going on. So
Yep.
Leviathan's probably one of the few, and like I've been lucky enough to travel all around Australia and compete, and I've been to a lot of gyms.
Mhm.
I would say Leviathan's one of the few gyms that has. I call it animals at the watering hole, because like there's kind of like always it's like the jungle mentality. Like everyone goes up to the water hole. Who's giving way to who? It's one of the few gyms I've seen with it's got like a whole group of like APA lifters. It's got a whole
Mhm.
group of open untested lifters. It's got a very large bodybuilding group. It's got a few like strongmen in there as well, but everyone cohabitates.
Yeah, nice.
And
We
it's
yeah, I miss that because
yeah,
that
it's
once
really
upon a time
nice.
that that's the way it used to be
Yep,
always.
yep,
That was it. That was it.
yeah, and it's
And it's kind of splintered over the years, and
yeah,
it's every time you see like these little pockets where everyone remembers, oh shit, we're the weird kids. It's everybody
yes,
outside the gym that's against
yep,
us. Let's all stick
yep,
together. Let's band together and just slang
and
iron about the place. I love
yep.
that. That's
And
awesome.
I literally can walk out, like I can walk around the corner. It's a very large space. Probably think you're in like remember how large Ruchi's was?
Which version of Ruchi's?
The the
I
the
would say all of
one
them.
the
The final
one
one.
the no, they're like the one they closed down to open where they are now. like the last large one they had.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So it's Leviathan's very large. It's like, you know, there's 7 places you can squat, there's 10 places to bench. There's, you know, $500,000 worth of bodybuilding equipment. There's a mezzanine upstairs. Like it's all color
Oh,
coded. Like
wow. Okay.
it's stunning. Like everyone, it's the best gym in Australia without by far. And like, you know, we've got, you know, there's 3 zero combos now and an Alico combo, and there's
Mm-hmm.
3 monoliths. Like it's just beyond. Like it's anything you could, any piece of machinery you want is in
They've
there.
got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
yeah,
That's
like
awesome.
yeah, like just whatever you want to squat out of, however you're happiest, whatever bench you want to use, whatever pad you want on there, whatever barbell you want. Like it's the only gym in Australia with a Kabuki deadlift bar. It's got a full set of Kabuki bars. Like, oh no, I want to use. Do you want an Eleiko comp bar or do you want an Eleiko training bar or do you want to try the new Apex
Oh,
bar?
wow.
It's out of control, and like
Like they got a barbell sommelier in there, you know.
yeah, and we've even got we have
Wow.
got. I've never seen. I don't know whether you've ever seen a barbell like a locked barbell rack before. Like you can actually buy like a barbell rack with like locks.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to go and collect the key, get
Yep. You
get
got
your
it. Yep.
barbells. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like it's out of control. We're so blessed and extremely lucky to have that training space.
Wow.
Um,
That sounds
and
cool.
and it's one
Very
of the
cool.
reasons why that gym is producing like the athletes that it is, because it's just we have like being able to be a power lifter and have access to every possible bodybuilding piece of equipment. Would you like a seated incline chest press, or would you like a decline chest press, or would you like you know, do you want a GHD, or do you want
Oh,
there's
wow.
4 Nathan, there's 4 leg presses, all different variations. Like you know, like just everything you could possibly think of is in that
Man.
gym. It's crazy. It's crazy good.
That
Um,
just yeah, yeah, I trained on my back patio with one power rack,
yeah,
had a few 100 kilos of plates, had
yep,
a few kettlebells, and that was it.
yep,
And bands, lots of bands and chains. That was
yeah.
me. I would, and
Like
I hear all this stuff now and go, man, that would
I
have
know.
been, that's
During
just like Christmas time every day.
during COVID, I bought a pair of not bad quality but not great squat stands,
Mm-hmm.
and like home gym. Like I bought a second hand. The only flex I've got is I bought a second hand full set of Eleiko comp plates off. Oh gosh, his name's gone from me. Queensland, APA, got a gym. Mm,
Colin Webb.
no, not Colin Webb, the other one. Oh no,
The other
Colin.
one, what Performotion was it?
No, no, no.
Dave Napper.
Dave Napper. So
Oh, okay.
yes. I was gonna say was at Nationals one year with his leg on a wheelie thing. Um, so yeah, bought a second hand set of Alico complates off Dave Napper. Like that's my only flex out there. And like
Yeah. Okay.
every week, thought I was gonna die walking out squats on these squat stairs. And so yeah, now we're very blessed to have that space. Very and like to be able to, as a lifter, to be able to walk around the corner any time of the day and be able to go, "Hey boys, can you spot me?" And whether they're bodybuilders, APA lifters,
Yep.
like we all train in together, and it's just it makes my heart happy. Like it's how powerlifting should be, and like it only makes people, you know, the old adage of steel sharp stuff. I can't even speak. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. We make
Yeah.
each other better, and
Yeah.
like one of the things I've always said, it's such a privilege when you can drop your ego for 2 seconds and train in an environment with other lifters and be able to talk and go, hey, like, just don't rush your setup, just set your brace properly, or have someone go, why, maybe if you like be able to go, you just need to move your foot out half a centimeter, your last squat moved a bit quicker. Like, to be able to have those conversations is a privilege. It's such a
Yep.
privilege as a lifter to be able to share, like, with such glorious big egoed beasts, and to be able to have conversations with people and go, if you continue, like, this is why your knees are caving, or if, you go away, like we train, there's three of us that train really early in the morning. There's myself,
Mm-hmm.
my best mate who doesn't compete, and I've coached her for years, and she's really strong, but she just has never had the desire to compete. She's a 60-kilo lifter. And then Deb Proud, who's a really good masters lifter in APA. And so Deb and I train together, and it's like we all can help each other. And like on Saturdays, like I found this, I'm prepping for nationals at the moment, and I found it challenging. Like I had a couple of weeks where I just didn't want to squat anymore. I was like, this is this is shit. Like, who chooses to do this? Who chooses to come in here, get under this barbell, your shoulder hurts, fucking hate it, feel like this is RPE 70 million. Like, I'm not even strong. I'm a weak dog. Like, and
What am I
and then
doing? This is shit.
oh, this is
I'm
just shit.
weak. It's horrible.
I'm weak. I'm horrible. The gym's got, like, I walk around the corner, all my trophies are on the wall in a banner with this great
Uh
photo
huh.
of me, like a shrine. I'm like, that needs ripping off the wall. I'm weak dog. Like, but you know what? I stand there, and then I'll go and spot someone squatting like 80 at 65 kilos, and they do this most beautiful high bar squat. And I'm like, what am I whinging about? Like, how can you not take motivation from that? And these people don't even compete. Or,
Mm-hmm.
like I've watched Debs just get better and better over the years, and like, all she wanted to do was total 400, and now she's total 400, and like, she's learned how to grind a deadlift, and like we've it's not, oh, I've given her advice and she's got better. We've all made each other better. Like, we've all
Yeah.
made each other better lifters. And like, it's just like competition and like camaraderie and all of it. Like, it just, if you can just drop your ego and enjoy people's company. And for me, it's like, one of the things, like Peter said about me doing this podcast and stuff, is I like, I love traveling. I last year sat and watched, like, went and did a deadlift comp. The day before the deadlift comp, we sat in our hotel room and watched APA Nationals. Like, we were on
Mm-hmm.
holiday in Melbourne watching a powerlifting comp. What is wrong with us? Like, and then we literally got back from a comp at 9 o'clock at night and turned on APA Nationals and watched APA, the rest of APA.
Right. There you
And
go.
I'm like, we just, like, like, and I know people that are there, or I watch lifters. Like, there are lifters I've watched their career, and I don't even know them. Like, I wouldn't even pass them in the street. It's like, like I say about, I'm one of the biggest, like, Chris Yip is one of my favorite powerlifters, because I literally watched him pull 5 times body weight, and I'm like, that is crazy. Like, do people realize how good that is? And with beautiful technique, beautiful. And I'm like, he is so good. And now I enjoy every time I watch, and like, I watched him, got up and watched him at Worlds, like,
Mm-hmm.
just like, I love powerlifting. I love the personalities. I love meeting people. Like, it just from all, like, I've always kind of had this theory. It's not 100% true, but I've said powerlifters often come from one of two places. They often come from I hate myself or I rate myself. Like, but they rarely, like, it's always interesting to talk to people and find out, like, there's always a common thread, like people, how they got into this sport, or why they got into it, or how, why they're there. And it's like, it's always interesting, and I have such interesting conversations with people at powerlifting comps. Like, I was at Capo Nationals last year, and there's people sitting behind me in the crowd, and you'll know exactly what I mean, Nathan. You know how it's like, it's the mum and the aunties and the grandmother. So there's like
Mm-hmm.
this generation, like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
turn
Yeah.
around and they're like, go Nathan, and it's like, it's the mum and the auntie and the
Yeah.
grandmother,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. I
yeah,
love
there
seeing
might
that.
be, yeah, like, and so there were these people sitting behind us where we were all sitting, and I've got a 10-year-old son, and he came to
Mm-hmm.
national. So I kept going back and forth. I'd go up, like for example, do my squats, but then as soon as I squatted, I'd come back and check on him. He was with other people, obviously, not just on his own. But I'd come back, I'd be like, "You're right," and whatever. And anyway, like I think there, so it was like the mum and the grandmother and the auntie, and the woman powerlifting was maybe like 30, and she was in my flight. And so they
Mm-hmm.
watched me because they were watching their daughter, granddaughter, niece's flight. And so I came back to check on Garrett and get something out of my bag, and they come over and they're like so beautiful. They're like, "Oh my god, you're amazing! You're so good." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Oh, thank you.
Like, and then the daughter comes over and she introduces herself, and she's like, "Oh, you're in my flight," and because I just hate talking about myself. I'm like, "Oh, how did you go? Like what happened and how did you go?" And she's telling me about her lifts, and I was like, "Oh, that's so amazing." She's like, "Oh, this is my third comp or something," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I'm chatting anyway. She moved away, and so then I'm chatting because I'm more than mum's age too, and so I'm chatting to the
Yep.
mum. And so how she got into powerlifting was her father died in a car accident. She'd never been sporty her whole life, and she really struggled with losing her dad, and the mum struggled with losing her husband. And anyway, one of the things that she started doing was she started going to the gym. She started going to the gym, and then obviously she went to a gym where her coach or someone was a powerlifter. But anyway, that's how she got into powerlifting. And I was like even talking about it makes me emotional because I was like, that whole family was there and they'd gone on a trip, like, and this was bringing that whole family of women together. And I remember standing there at that nationals and I was thinking, I wonder if everyone in this crowd realizes we can only do what we do because of these people. Like these people that are in the crowd that are here, like I had friends there looking after my son. My boyfriend's there helping look after my son. Like, I've got people there rolling my wraps for me. I've got friends there loading plates for me. I've got people I don't even know cheering me on. And I'm like, I wish these people knew how much they are responsible for what we do. Like I wish, like the conversations that the like every couple of months conversations I have with Peter, like, Peter, like I lost my mum to cancer. Peter survived cancer and he's like powerlifting, and like to people
Mm.
not understand like how amazing that woman is. And there are like so many people out there that have these phenomenal stories and are just amazing people, all wrapped up in the package of being a powerlifter. Like, like one of my best mates survived like a hard drug addiction by going to the gym and getting into powerlifting, and like started out as like a 60 kilo meth addicted like young boy, and is now like the most handsome 100 kilo powerlifter you've ever met in your life. And it's like it's I wish sometimes people, like, this is my like part of my passion in powerlifting. Like you just don't know people's journeys and you just don't know people's stories, and there are just phenomenal people out there. Like I looked, how you put your screenshot up the other day of like your bench record,
Yeah.
and is Sean the only person who's outbenched you? And so
Yeah.
I met
Yeah, it's me and
like
Sean.
yeah, so I met Sean like 2 years ago because I was going to Pro Raw and I needed a massage.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And I met,
Absolutely gorgeous gentleman, isn't he?
and he's such a nice human being.
Yeah.
And I remember this guy, this guy walked in the room and I was like, Jesus, have a look at
Oh,
the sides of old mate.
he's he's gonna massage me.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, what are you doing in Melbourne?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to this comp called Pro Raw." Like,
I'm a
um,
bit of a big deal. Never
yeah,
heard
but
of him.
then the funniest thing was then like I met my boyfriend and he's an equipped powerlifter, and
Mm-hmm.
then he knew Sean, and it's so like even earlier you saying about Colin Webb. Couldn't get, is Colin Webb not the nicest human being in Australian powerlifting?
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Yeah, if he's not, I want to meet the person who is,
Just
because they got to be beautiful, right?
absolute gentleman,
Yeah. And
and
he squats in appropriate footwear, barefoot.
yeah, and
Barefoot squatter, just like me. And I'm like, yep, dude, you should keep on doing that. That's the way to do life.
yeah, and like super strong, super
Hmm.
nice, like competes in a tested federation, like just
Just
an
a good
absolute
guy, right?
too nice, like
Yeah.
can't be real, like
We need. I just think the world needs more people like Colin. Just all around, just good blokes. Like,
yeah,
it's. I don't think I've ever heard somebody say a negative word about him. Um,
no,
I can't think of why you would want to. Maybe he's a bit too good looking. He's too good at stuff, perhaps. But just such a nice guy.
no, it's
Such a nice
pretty.
guy.
I'll just balance it out. If you follow Colin, he's pretty hopeless. He continually loses his wallet and his car keys and leaves his lunch.
There you
So
go.
look,
There you
not
go.
not perfect.
Yeah, so it's me and Sean. Sean had um Sean's had the record for like forever and ever, as far as I
Yeah,
can remember. And I think we met around 2009, um,
yeah,
or eight or something. So I used to come across to Melbourne a lot for comps, just for fun. I was good friends with Stephen Pritchard, and so Stephen trained at Elite Sports Performance in Footscray, which is a whole big bunch of them would train as one group, and Sean was part of that group. And had Sean, Dave Park, Stephen
yeah,
Pritchard,
yeah,
Ryan Mitchell, who won a national title with PA as well, David Trankong,
yeah,
like some really good guys. So I met Sean that way, and so my goal always was, like, I was so far out in front of IPF lifters in Australia that I wanted to beat Sean. Like, Sean was my I'll always tell people Sean was my true rival. That was who I was trying
yeah,
to beat.
yeah,
Even though we were never going to be able to lift it at the same time in the same comp, but I know I lit a fire under him in 2011. He came to a comp at a big invitational, and I almost locked out the world record that day. And that's when he, accelerated and he did the 350 none. My last comp ever in Australia, I loaded 351 three times just because I wanted to beat Sean. Like, they're going, Nathan, I already had the record at 340. And they said, why are you loading 351? You don't like chipping. Who are you chipping? I go, well, I'm allowed to load it because rule says I can. And I've never chipped anybody in my life, but I would try and chip Sean. So I was going for 1 kilo more.
yeah,
But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But
yeah,
I think Sean motivated me more than most people. We talked a fair bit about how we trained and what we thought was important.
yeah,
And I just think he's an underrated genius in
yeah,
terms of how bodies move.
yeah. Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, yeah, and they're just like it's really interesting. Like it's I wish people could see sometimes at comps, like you were saying about the ammonia, like you've got to earn your ammonia.
Yeah,
Like if you're not getting
yeah,
it, mate, probably calm down some. Um, it's always like what I think is interesting is sometimes when I go to comps, like I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, it's a really interesting vibe. Like I can only imagine this is what it would be like at a worlds. Like I feel like sometimes the higher the level, like the more elite the athletes get, the more that it's sometimes almost like a little bit more there's less ego and there's more willingness to like communicate with each other and discuss
yeah.
stuff
Oh,
and like
absolutely,
yeah,
100%. That I think it's both a product of being at the top, and so you don't really care because you go, well, you can try and do what I did, and you can try and do it the way I did it, and I'm sure you'll get there eventually, but I've got a head start.
yeah, yeah,
That and I think it is also causative because I don't know that, like, the people that I've met, um, who are like this, we're all so damn curious
yeah,
and quite generous because we realize, hey, if I tell you what I do, you might know something that I don't and can point out a different way to do what I'm already doing, and
yeah,
that's going to make me better. And I don't care if you know what I know because I'm good. You can
yeah,
catch me if you want. You can try and do it like me, you know. But I want to know what you know, so I'm going to tell you everything I've got, and we're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna
absolutely,
become friends, and we're going to exchange information. So
absolutely.
that's
Like
where. that's where I got all my best learning was going to worlds and being friends with these absolute megastars
Yeah,
and being insanely curious about what they did in the afternoons, and we'll just talk about training.
yeah, and I also think like it's really interesting, and you would know this too. Like there comes a point in every like the powerlifters who have longevity are the ones who understand like it starts to become the journey becomes less about the emotion and more about the data and the science of it. Like in regards to I'll give you an example. I don't feel like I did this to you yesterday. This prep bench has not gone well for me, and
Hmm.
there's several factors involved in that. But like we don't need to list them all now. But I know that I can look at the data of it, so I can go back and look and go, these are the things I believe emotively have not helped, but where's the hard, like it's a combination of emotive and the hard science and data. So
Yeah.
what did I do differently before and what am I doing differently now? So that's where whereas so many people not at that point in their journey would just be like bench can just suck a dick and I'm shit.
Yeah. I hate benching
Yeah,
suck.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard
Like
that before.
I
That's
really
the common one.
yeah, and it's like I really think like I'm a huge believer in you can't be good at a third of your sport. You can have like you can be good. You can have a lift that's your favorite. It's no different from having a favorite child. Like everyone's going to prefer a lift, but you have to respect and work your ass off at all three
Yeah.
because
Because it's still a three lift sport. We only have three things to do. Like
yeah, yeah, it's not
being
that
really
not that
being really
hard.
bad at one of them isn't really
Yeah,
part of the deal.
and
You
like
still got to do it.
I just it's such a there's two things that really irk me. One is if you ever want to see me really have a crack at someone, people who throw belts should be chucked out of gyms. That's my ultimate
Yes.
like
Yes.
you
100%.
disrespectful to everything about this whole sport. And I also think I really don't understand. I paid a huge amount of money for my belt. I waited 2 years to buy it. It's actually one of my favorite things in my life is my belt. And
Just let me see. Just give me two. Oh no, I don't think it's there anymore. I
oh,
thought it
your
was there.
belt,
I was going to
yeah,
hold up my belt. I got this.
yeah,
It's beautiful. It's got white python inlay. It's got a gold buckle. I'm not throwing that.
nah.
That's precious. I
So mine's black python.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so you'd understand, like, and if like
Wow.
I just could not do that. I could not do that. My belt saves my life. Like it's so chucking belts and people who carry on about like people who'll just be like squats suck. Who wants to squat anyway? It's only like one of you. Like okay, just be shit at it then. That's cool
I
because
was.
everyone will beat you. Like
Do you see those people and just go, dude, like find another sport. Just like you don't have to like this. Like if you
yeah,
don't like it, go do something else. Like you don't
and
have to do it.
like the other thing is, none of us are professional powerlifters. There's actually, I reckon, there's probably two professional powerlifters in the whole world, and one of them's Agatha. Like
Oh, actually, so in the IPF, there's a lot of countries where it is very, very it's
lucrative.
beneficial to be good at powerlifting. Yeah, so more
Yeah,
um, the countries that used to be part of the Soviet system, a lot of those countries will be they're heavily financed.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Their
Well,
careers. So some
we're
of
not.
yeah, some of
So
the not in the West though.
nah,
Unfortunately, it's only those
nah.
old Eastern Bloc countries. That's
Yeah,
super lucrative.
like
But yeah, I take what you're saying.
if John Hack's got a real job, the rest of us
Yeah.
get like the rest of us.
Yeah.
We need a real job. Like
It's like yeah.
yeah,
When
yeah,
Blaine was squatting 500 kilos, he had to go to work from 9 to 5.
yeah.
He was
Legit,
doing that
legit.
in the afternoon,
Yeah,
right?
I guarantee
We
Dan
all
Bill.
asked for time off. We all
Yeah,
asked for time off work to go to Worlds.
yeah,
That's
yeah, and like even the majority, like even the majority of good IPF lifters and coaches, like they're like, oh, I'm a coach. I bet you those bitches have got some part time actual like taxable income as well. Um,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of hope they do for
life
my
point
own
of view,
ego. Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's like you have to respect like all three lifts. You can't
Yeah.
just be you can't be I just find that like it's just disrespectful to the whole sport. But I think the interesting thing is the higher like it's always eye opening watching like it's there's a comp that I'm going to do at the end of November. So Pro Raw is no longer. So Pro Raw is gone. I don't know
Right.
what you like. So it's
That's a
yeah,
shame.
it is a
That is a
shame.
real shame.
So
I
it's
love
been
that format.
replaced. It's got a replacement coming, and like it'll be big dogs, and it'll be replaced. But
Yep.
as it was. It is no more. It's done.
Well, I
So
think they did so well to last as long as they did, I believe.
absolutely,
And
yeah,
especially like the big years of pro roll, like
yep,
what is it? Sort of 2014, some of those ones around there where it's just like it was about the best comp in the world.
it was
And
hundred
and
percent.
I used to send Marcos messages going, "Yeah, you did a good job. Way to
Yeah,
go. You're doing well."
yeah,
And it was always a little bit grudgingly, but for me with a lot of envy because
yeah,
I wanted the IPF Worlds to be the best, recognized as the best competition in the world, and it
yeah,
wasn't. I think what Marcos was doing with both Big Dogs and Pro Raw at the time, that was the
yeah,
best competition in the world for
yeah.
for at least a couple of years.
It definitely peaked. Like it was the future of what like had COVID have not happened, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened with it. But anyway, that's
Who
changed.
knows? Yeah.
But one of the reasons I like pick comps, or one of the reasons I go, okay, what comps am I going to do this year is it's literally I'll go like, I can't wait to be in that room with that group of women warming up and competing and all of us like looking after each
Yeah.
other.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, because to me
I
that's
think that's one of those really cool things. Like I just noticed we've been talking for 90 minutes, and
yeah.
90 minutes to find that bit there. And this is why I love having these conversations because most people will go their whole lives and never experience what that feels like.
Mm.
That experience of a super supportive warm up room. So um, let's see how we go. Let's see if you can describe it for people that haven't been in that situation. Like
I,
what's it like? What's the appeal?
I think it's just the recognition of like and for me to begin with, I remember going to comps and like going, oh, I get to warm up with these people. Like, I look at the people that I was chasing when I first started in powerlifting, and now they're people, some of them have retired, but people
Hmm.
like, the Sarah Rainbows and the Lily Rileys and the people like that of the world. Like you get to warm up in a room with those people like next door to each other, and you meet people like there's people that have come back into the sport since I've been in it that at Pro Raw this year there was a girl that I warmed up with that I remember when I first started at powerlifting. I remember the name Soraya Timms, and she was really good. But then for years she wasn't around, and then now she's come back into powerlifting. And I was like, you go to these comps, and it's like to have people stand there and like load the bar for each other, talk to each other. Like, do you need racks in or racks out? Like, do you need a spot? Like, are you okay? Do you want wraps on? Where's your belt? Like, have you got a drink? Like, where are you? And to have people like so I struggle with it's no like so I've bombed two comps in my career. I've bombed one on bench and I've bombed one on squats. And the one that I
Hmm.
bombed on squats was late last year. And I won't say it was hard. Like it makes you a better power lifter to
I think so.
experience bombing. like
I
um
wish there was another way to do it, but you're
No,
spot
no,
on. It's a
no.
big.
The
It's yeah.
first one, so it was
I,
two very different experiences. The first one, I cried hysterically in the stairwell for 30 minutes and I thought I was like going to die. The second one, I was like, yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen. like, yeah, it didn't really matter. But so I always struggle with squat depth. Like,
Mhm.
so it's very rare for me to
Well,
get,
yeah, having to be so vertical through the
yeah.
shins, like,
So
kind of limits you.
yeah, it's very rare for me to get three white lights. Like I have to really
Hey,
earn.
I think three white lights is greedy. Like,
Yeah,
it just means
yeah, yeah.
somebody. It
You
means that somebody got it wrong. At least one
overachiever.
person made a mistake. We don't know
Yeah,
who, but
yeah,
we'll take it.
yeah. Um, So I think like what I'm getting to with this is so Pro Raw last year was the first comp. So I bombed a comp. I bombed Zero Pro,
Mm-hmm.
and so then the next comp for me on the calendar was Pro Raw. So I went into that comp. I knew either I was going to bomb again, and that was the end of me as a powerlifter. Like, like, like I went into that comp knowing that you could bomb this comp, and if you bomb this comp, it's because you just can't physically squat to depth anymore. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
a case for me of I don't cut squats high because they're heavy. I just physically can't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
the range. Like,
Yeah.
so there is going to come a point in my career, Nathan, where I just won't be able to squat to depth anymore.
Yep.
So I went into Pro Raw going, this could be it. Like, you need to mentally be prepared for the fact that you could bomb today, and that's the end of you as as a powerlifter. Because I wouldn't go with it like that's. I don't need any more data than bombing twice in a row. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people at that comp, because at the higher levels, people are like, "Oh, you bombed your last comp." Like, people know that. I've never been, as far as the supportive comp goes, I've never walked out onto a platform and had people ready to squat, people who'd either just squatted or about ready to squat. Everyone's sitting in their seats ready to go in the green room.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had so many people get up and stand on the edge of the platform and been like they wanted me to get that squat. Like,
Yeah.
people
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
like. I walked out, and I don't know about you, but like, I walk out onto a platform, I couldn't tell you who's in front of me. I couldn't tell you who's in the crowd. At gyms, particularly gyms where I've been before, I usually find something because I
Mm-hmm.
set my eye line, so I find something to look at. I look at the center ref to get the squat
Yep.
call, and then my eye,
Yep.
eye line somewhere else. I've
I'll,
never
I'll I'll
been,
come back to that in a second. Go. Keep going.
yeah, I've never been in a room and felt that much want and need from strangers for me to get that squat than in that room in that moment. And
Yeah. Right.
I like at the end of my third squat, I like stood on the platform and I was like, I put my hands together and I was just like bowed to the crowd and I was like, I could have walked around that room and hugged every single person. And I got, I
Yeah.
got three squats and I PB'd my squat, and like, it was because of the people in the room. It wasn't.
Mm.
It wasn't. Yes, it was training, and it was like, I'd be stupid if I didn't say I push. Like, I try and push as hard as I can squat depth all the time, and I've got a brutal best friend that we all need that will tell me when they're high and when they're depth. Like, so
Everybody needs that
so many
friend.
people are surrounded by yes men. Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Yep.
watch them. How many times have our hearts broken for people at comps? Because we've watched it, in this day and age of social media, I've watched them squat high all
Yeah.
year.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what do you think was going to happen? Like, and so,
I have these funny conversations with guys in the gym about squat depth now because you go back like circa 2008 to 14 or whatever, we'd always call each other out on squat depth. You
yeah,
just walk past and go, dude, you look like Snoop Dogg right now.
yeah,
Um, and same, when people started posting their training videos, you'd put memes of people smoking weed to call them out for their
um,
depth. But now it's very different. And so I'm constantly asking this young guy, I said, hey, am I allowed to say something right now? Because that guy he was really high. And they go,
yeah,
no, just leave him. He's all right. And then it seems to be masters lifters who go, yeah, you can talk to them about it. And I go,
yeah,
hey, you're kind of high right now. Are you aware of that? And they go,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm high. And I just go, well, as long as you know, that's
But
cool. But
I had,
I was get weird about the ones that go, man, you're really high. They go, no, I'm not.
yeah.
And go, oh, okay, then you go
So
with it.
I always love when I go to a comp that I've never been before. Like, I've never been to that gym before, so there's all different people in there. So I start out like in sleeves, like I warm up in sleeves, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't even get, like, on a good day I might get parallel in sleeves, but usually a good inch to 2 inches above depth. So that's how it starts. And what happens is I see people around me starting to panic because they're like, has anyone told this woman that she's like this far off depth? And then, like, and I've had people help me warm up, and I can see them, like, I'm like, are you guys worried because of my depth? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know. It's okay. Like, you don't need to panic.
It's
I,
fine.
yeah, I'm like, I won't even get near depth till I get wraps on, and I won't get near depth until there's like 180 or 190 on the bar. So don't panic.
So you look like an equipped lifter warming up then.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I squat slow. So, and I've never squatted an equipped squat in my life, but
Uh-huh.
I squat slow because I also struggle like balance because of my knee, no forward motion, everything's behind the
Mhm.
vertical. So I squat really slow and really wide. And so I usually have to tell the spotters, it'll be really slow, but don't take it. The one thing I can say is I've bombed on depth.
Mhm.
I've never ever failed a squat. Like I've never pushed myself because my limitation is not my strength. My limitation is my knee joints and my balance. They're
Yep.
my limitations squatting. So I've never, not out of badge of glory, but I've never failed on depth. Like Ari, one of my mates, always said to me, "Imagine what you could squat if you had good knees." And I was like, "Yeah, well, if I could
Mhm.
deadlift 280 or 290, mate." Like, but
Right.
yeah, it's just what it is.
Wow.
But to have that support, like to have that support from a crowd and people, that's like it's rare to see that, and it's rare to experience it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, there's
Do you ever
always,
get I'll ask you like this. Do you ever get that eh, you watch somebody that you don't know, I don't know, grind out a one of those long, slow deadlifts or squats where you just go, oh, what's going on? And then they finally lock out and you're like, oh my God, and you're so excited for them. Have
yeah,
you ever stepped back and gone, why the hell am I excited for them?
yeah,
Like, I don't know them. They
yeah,
mean nothing to me. But there's something that takes over and it's just I don't know, it's almost palpable, isn't it? Like you feel this connection with someone that you've barely met
yep,
because they put
yep.
in.
The amount of times like you know you'll be at a comp and like we've all seen it where it's like you know they need this for the win or they need this to place
Mhm.
or they need this for a 900 total or whatever, and you're like there's just in the law of data and science there's just no way they should get it. Like there's just no way
Mhm.
they should get it. Or you know you watch someone squat and they lose balance. Like you know you watch them totally misgroove. I've seen 1 year at Pro Raw, it was the first time that Josh Takua ever squatted 300, and
Mhm.
he squatted it. There would have been an 8-inch difference between the bar on one side and the other. He came up completely crooked. How he ever locked that out, I to this day will never know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like I was just like, it's one of the like the ones that stick in your mind. Like just like yeah, or like you said, like literally, I've seen people deadlift, and it has taken like 10 seconds.
Right.
And you're like, they're gonna hitch it, they're gonna ramp it, their grip's gonna go, and they lock it out, and you're like, that is one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love that. I can't get enough of long grindy deadlifts. Like the
Yeah,
10-second deadlift is one of my favorite things on it. Like I've had a couple of 10-second deadlifts. I got a really famous photo after one like that. It's just fun. It's just
yeah,
really fun. Had like vision starting to narrow. Like I knew I was
yeah,
close to not being awake. But then I passed out twice on third attempt deadlifts at the Arnold's in Columbus.
yeah. Okay.
And it was always to do with jet lag and I was well known for doing three comps across the weekend at the Arnold's anyway. So I used to
Yeah,
take a big load. But yeah, and so it was evidence that I had a heart condition that I didn't realize, which eventually, got me with the strokes, and that was why I passed out. But we didn't know that at the time. So I used to tell my guys that I was coaching. I said we have one rule about deadlifting: you either lock out or you pass out. They're your
yeah,
options.
yeah,
And so we had two more guys take the pass out option while deadlifting once, and it was beautiful. This guy James Lorian, he'd never done 300. He was just a local guy, rugby player, played on the wing, um, and he wanted a 300 deadlift. And I said to him, "Hey man, are you ever going to do it? You going to do a comp again?" He goes, "Nah, this is it. I don't think I'll be back." I said, "Let's just load it and see what happens." And he got so close to locking that out, and then he didn't. but it was one of the most spectacular pass outs I've ever seen. It was quite beautiful. So
Yeah,
either way, it was a great bit of film, great video of the occasion.
yeah, yeah. I
But
I
that whole thing there, like everyone in the building, it was, like I said, it's just local comp, but everyone there talks about it. Everybody felt connected to the lift. Everybody was invested,
mm,
and still to this day, like I don't know why we get so excited about watching red discs come off the floor.
mm. I think like part of it will be, you know, like I was saying to you earlier about this, some people won't leave coaches or they won't leave particular groups, like,
Mm.
you know, social groups that form, because we really don't have like, I think it is that sense of community and that sense of belonging. And I
Yeah.
think I truly believe powerlifting is, like, out of all the sports, it's still one of the least judgmental, like in regards to where else can you stand, like, maybe, like, I don't mean this in a funny way, IPF a little bit different, I'm not sure of like the legalities, like I've met people in powerlifting, like, you know, that have spent time in prison, and you know, they're just, I've been shocked by that or surprised, because I'm like, wow,
Mm.
this guy's the nicest guy I could ever meet. And you know, the amount of people I've talked to, there's a couple of quite high level, high profile powerlifters that found powerlifting in prison, or
Mm-hmm. Yep.
you know, like women who turned to powerlifting because they didn't feel accepted, you know, particularly like, you know, I've always been 100 kilo lifter, and you know, there's a lot of women out there who feel really judged in the gym, or you know, their body size, or you know, their age, or where they are in life. They just, like, powerlifting's quite accepting, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other sports that aren't quite as, like, you know, it's hard to do CrossFit at 100 kilos. Like, it's not impossible, but it's,
There's a body, like there's a body type for most sports. Like even
yeah,
within, if you go like rugby union, or like there's maybe 4 body types in rugby
yeah,
union,
yeah,
probably 2 body types for the AFL. If you're 7 foot tall, you know, go play basketball.
yeah, yeah,
If you're 5 foot, become a jockey.
yeah.
We're the sport where we've got the 5 foot guy or the 5 foot girl and the 6'4" girl all
Yeah,
lifting together.
yeah,
I love it. It's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And
Like
I've said,
it
I've
means
said this
it
also,
means that I
like,
can be friends with the guy that's 60 kilos. Like we've got
yeah,
something in common now.
and it's the same as, like, you'll go to comps and it's like there's the girls, like, it's really interesting because there's always, I always say there's the hair extension and lashes girls, and then there's the, like, not hair extensions and lashes girls,
Yep.
like but they, like, it all coexists, you know. It's like strongman, we all like strongman's the other one that's quite inclusive in that regard, like people
Yeah.
really do coexist. And it's like one of my best, you know, I met, like, one of my best powerlifting friends is a another girl called Lydia, and that's how we actually met, because we were like, how on earth could there be two Lydias in powerlifting? And the funniest
There you
thing
go.
was, Lydia's a vet. She's Chinese. She's like 56 kilos. Anyway, I walked into this comp, like, here's me, like, 100 kilos, jacked, and this tiny little normal, like, 56 kilo
Yep.
Chinese lifter. And the joke was, I said to her, you know that both our names are Lydia. Don't let your fiance get confused and take you on Lydia home.
Yeah.
And out of that, her and her now ex fiance have become two of my closest friends in Queensland.
Yeah,
Like,
there you
whenever I
go.
travel to Queensland, and it's like, that's what powerlifting's about. Like, it's about, like, walking into a room and someone you would never cross paths with in your whole entire life, and your best mates by the end of the comp. And you know what?
Right?
You might not even see them ever again. Like, but it's like, in that moment, that's what powerlifting's about. And that's like, even I think it's great, like, the more that people can conquer the divide. Like, sometimes I feel like we have to remember, I understand there's political reasons, but we have to remember powerlifting's powerlifting. Whether it's
Yes.
like tested, non-tested, open, equipped, raw, whatever it is, we're all powerlifters, and they should be, everyone should be extremely respectful of that. And I'm never been like, I know what it was like. Like, one of the things I'll openly say here is, I know what it was like when I made the transition from PA and I, let's just say IPF powerlifting
Hmm.
to for want of a better phrase, non-tested powerlifting. So many people make the assumption that it's because drugs is why people do it, and that it wasn't the reason. The reason was knee wraps, so
Yeah.
that was the original reason. I'm not going to
Uh,
be like, I'm not going to blatantly lie and be like it doesn't. Most people don't end up in non-tested powerlifting because they want to take performance enhancing drugs. A lot of them do. Like a lot of the reason they want to push the limits. Like that's a personal choice. That's up to the individual, but it doesn't stop them being powerlifters. Like it
yeah.
doesn't stop anyone, and we can all coexist. And I know, like I said, Article 14, and I know that there's reasons why, but we can't
Yeah, I don't
forget.
know.
Yeah,
I think I'm still hoping that there is a day not too far away that we just give up on Article 14.
yeah, yeah,
Like I think it's now getting tested enough legally around the world, and there's enough pushback that maybe it's time.
yeah,
Maybe we can do this a little bit better, where we're all together a little bit more often, and that maybe the balance of power shifts within the politics, and
yeah,
this, that would be nice. But I say that because I'm a hippie, and I think
yeah.
we can all one day hold hands and skip together and be in the same place. That would be awesome. I'd love that. But like
Oh,
you said, we're powerlifters first.
and I want, like I said to you, part of it for me is I wanted the girls. Like I'm like you girls, like the. I mean, obviously, because I'm a woman, like my fellow female powerlifters, I'm like, you guys should have a piece of this pie. Like you should have some money for what you do. Like, it's not like
Get amongst it,
get amongst it. And I was pleased. Like
right?
I saw a comp only today. There's a comp in Ballarat. I know Jack's involved with it, and there's like $3,000 prize money at the comp, and it's an APA comp. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy to see comps finally getting some money. Like it's
Yeah,
so good. Yeah,
yeah. I'm thinking that surely by now there's enough money. Well, you look at the registrations and people involved in powerlifting now. There's certainly enough numbers that there's an economy there that surely we can find ways of distributing the wealth within that small economy of ours, so that
mm,
athletes are recognised and there's some incentives. And like you, I think if we opened it up and those people affected by Article 14 are allowed to compete, then it makes everybody better.
yeah,
It's like everybody gets better across the board. And, you know, like you
yeah,
said, everyone's got different reasons for where they compete. I competed in the IPF for as long as I did because Adam Coe is really bad at answering his phone. That was it. Adam
yeah,
didn't answer his phone. Tried a bunch of times. He didn't answer. Robert Wilkes answered his phone. That
yeah,
was it. That was
yeah,
literally it. And then I made, like you make friends really quickly in powerlifting. So I was living in Karratha. I had to fly a long way to every comp. So I
yeah,
got to know people. I made sure I bought the first round of beer after the comp.
yeah,
And so I wanted to go back to the comps go back to the places where I'd already met people and made friends. That was in the IPF. So we
yeah,
just kept on going. There was
yeah,
literally no other reason. So I was, I said back when I was lifting, I would have loved to have been lifting on the same platform with Sean,
yeah,
because that could you imagine two behemoths going back and forth at 350 kilos,
yeah.
where it
And
actually
like,
where our attempts really mattered, where we had direct
yeah,
competition with each other,
and
where he didn't have enough competition to push him, I didn't have enough
yeah,
competition, but
yeah,
we really could have put on a show.
yeah,
That would have been something else,
yeah.
but
And
we
it's
missed
like
out.
it's the same as like, do you know how much, like, not even to sound funny, do you know how much it breaks my heart that I can't go to, like, on the flip side, I can't go to APA nationals and load plates. I can't go to APA
Yeah, right.
and help. I can't help my friend Deb warm up in the warm up room, and I get it. Like I understand why.
Yeah,
Like I completely get it, and I understand. And I'm not expecting that to ever change, but it does. Like there's a little bit of me. It also makes me feel like it makes me feel like a foreign citizen in my
yeah.
own sport, and I'm like. I just wish, like you, I'm a bit of a hippie too, and I'm like, imagine how good it would be if we could all do that. And it's like, on
Right?
the same
Yeah.
token, Deb will come to comps with me. She can't help out on the desk at a
Yeah.
non-test comp. She can't go and load, and we all, like, this is where we all want to progress the sport of powerlifting. And, like, I saw like, the other day,
We just want people lifting shit and
yeah,
having
the other
fun.
day was a call for volunteers, and I was like, we can't even, like, you can't even put your hand up and be like, I promise you, I'm not dripping Tren out of my veins on the platform.
I know back in the long time ago, so far enough ago that the statute of limitations had definitely kicked in.
Yeah,
We just used to, and it was pre-social media as well, so we would
yeah,
just make sure we were never photographed.
yeah. And look, I've
And
said
this is
that.
and this is and this is before GPC as well. So it was Capo and PA in those days, and
Yeah,
I can tell you when I broke the total record back in 2008, it was Adam Coe that handed out that deadlift, handed out the bench to me.
yeah.
Like, we just made sure no one else knew.
And
So we
look,
had we had Henry, Adam, Daniel Macri was there. So
yeah,
three Capo legends, and we're like, comp
yeah.
would have run. It wouldn't
And
have happened without him.
I think as you would get to know me more, you'd realise too that if that if I want to walk out the back, not many people actually will stop me. But
You
I,
can.
I
A couple of people in Australian powerlifting now have realised they can ask me to leave warm up rooms.
yeah, I
Not
know.
a, they can
Yeah,
ask me to leave.
yeah. And
I
I'm
just go,
like,
okay, I'll leave eventually.
yeah, I'm me. I'll be like, I'll look, and someone will look at me, and I'll be like, "Do you want me to leave?" And they're like, "Yeah," and I'll just go, "Yeah," in a second, and they're like, "Okay," and I'm like, "No worries." Or I'll do the old. What about them? Should they leave too? Like, it,
Yeah,
it's funny. You don't want to, like. It's a really interesting, like. I've seen it from all angles. Like, I've seen, obviously, through PA days, I've seen some pretty. I've been witness to some pretty crazy wild stuff.
I remember when Stefan Pizzani got kicked out for wearing I think he was wearing a Pro Raw t-shirt,
Oh,
and he ended up turning it inside out. That
yeah.
was that
I
was I was like, we just like stuff like that would happen. We'd just shake our head. We go, what are we doing? Like,
I
that's
know.
who cares?
It's
Like,
just
it's so
crazy.
it was so petty. It was
Yeah,
petty.
yeah. And, like, literally, like, it's so funny, but like we will make jokes about it in the gym. Like, not all the time, obviously, but I remember once. I think when what was before APA? Who were the people before APA?
Oh, the Australian Powerlifting Union,
Oh, APU. That's right.
the
So
APU.
I think they had a thing where you could, like, if you wanted to help out at a comp, and I don't know whether this is still the case. I know you can do, like, a volunteer registration or whatever.
Oh yeah, I heard they were doing something like that. It
Yeah,
seems
so
a
it used to
bit.
be like, for example, if your mate was competing at a powerlifting comp and you weren't a member, you could pay, like, a volunteer registration fee.
Oh yeah,
It was like, it was
that's
obviously
the
just
one.
a money making scheme, but it was like, it was $15, and, like, you were a member for the day kind of thing. And
Oh yeah, that's not cool. That
I
was
remember saying to
I heard
someone,
about that, and it
yeah,
just
yeah. I remember saying to someone who shall remain nameless, I was like, "Oh, so this is when I was competing in non-tested powerlifting." I remember saying, "Oh, so my mate's helping out at this comp. I just wanted to clarify, could I have a voluntary membership to help her at the comp?" Like, I was being genuine. I was like, "Is that how it works? Am I misunderstanding this?" And they just looked at me and they said, "You know that a voluntary membership still means that you can be drug tested."
we go, okay, you're gonna test me today? Like, is
And
that what we're doing? You're like,
I actually said, "You're welcome to. You'll actually be surprisingly disappointed." But I was like, "Would you?" I literally looked at them and said, "Would you honestly waste the price of a drug test?"
right? And because drug testing is very expensive,
I know,
like
and
hugely expensive.
I was like, I just couldn't. It was the way they said it, and I was like, they literally were going to waste a drug test on a volunteer.
My goodness, that's so dumb.
Yeah,
That's so dumb.
and I remember
I
thinking,
almost I
It's
almost got tested one day as a volunteer. I just remember that.
yeah,
I was at a comp in Perth, just a local one, and I wasn't. It was one of the first comps ever. It was like by 2014. We'd had thing no 13. I want to say we had things set up so I didn't need to do so much work with comps, and so I could let everyone else do the work. We taught new meet directors what to do and how to run the comps, and so me and this other guy were kind of sitting back, um, and just watching it how it play out. But then I got to the comp and said, I'll spot and load. I'll go send a spotter. I'll look after everyone.
yeah,
And so Asada turned up, the drug testers. I
yeah.
was just sitting in the car park having some lunch with actually a 400-meter track sprinter from the Australian team. And this drug tester looked at us both because we were about the most tested people in WA at the time. And she goes, "Look at you two together. Isn't that fun?" And we both gone, "We're not athletes today." And she goes, "I can still test you both, right?" And we're like, "Oh shit, really? In like you're gonna pick us up in the car park?"
Yeah.
Fortunately, she didn't, because that just would have been annoying. Because I don't know why people kept on trying to get me for drugs for years and would phone stuff in. I
I
wasn't smart enough to beat a drug test. Didn't have enough energy to beat a drug test. And if I took drugs, I told this to a guy once. If I took drugs, I would take the ones that didn't make me fat. I would be shredded because I'm quite vain. I would have had a six pack. I would have looked like Ronnie Coleman if I took drugs. I certainly wouldn't have been fat like I was.
and it's interesting how there's always like as soon as people do, like as we've discussed, a lot of people do non-tested powerlifting because of the money and the
Mm,
equipment. Like
yep.
it's not just a free for all of like everyone
Right.
just
Which is
like
what people like. It's expensive.
oh,
I'm pretty sure it's expensive, and a lot of people aren't into it for whatever reason.
and
It's
there's
like,
plenty of
yeah.
not to sound funny, there's plenty of physiques out there in non-tested and non-tested powerlifting that probably tell you, as you've just said, that they're not running copious amounts of gear.
Yeah,
Like,
right. And,
yeah,
or they're using the wrong stuff, or they're
yeah.
they're
Well, the
overpaying or something. I don't know.
it's like sometimes I watch like my very limited knowledge of equipped lifting. I'll watch equipped lifters and I'll be like, why is that man benching less than me equipped?
Right? Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, imagine spending on equipment. Like I know what Fon spends on equipment, like the suits and stuff like that. I'm like, you couldn't afford to do that and buy drugs.
Yeah. 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 That makes sense. That
But
makes sense.
it's funny how like
I'm See, I
that.
think that's what SBD is doing in the IPF with the price of their knee sleeves and all these knee sleeve regulations that
Mm,
they keep on bringing in. That maybe knee sleeves are going to get so expensive that that's how they keep drugs out of the IPF. They just make it prohibited. Like if you want, you can either have the drugs or you could buy knee sleeves.
yeah,
Okay, well I want to stay in I need the knee sleeves. So
yeah.
okay, well then you're going to be lifetime drug free now if you're going to pay for these things all the time.
I must admit, I bought jumped on the Kool Aid bandwagon the other day and bought a pair of I've heard it pronounced multiple different ways. The Ivanka shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
All
one.
right.
I think like a lot of the IPF guys are wearing them now, so they're kind of like the new. I think what's
The new
happened is
it's the new fashion trend.
it's the new 100%
Yeah.
bandwagon. I bought them because they were white and pink. It's one of the only feminine things about me with them.
There you go.
And so, and Agatha wears them. So anything that touches, I have to immediately be involved with.
Now,
It'll make
now we get down to the
yeah.
real bit.
That's the
It's just
real reason.
fangirling.
That's the real reason. We all wear. Well, if we wear these shirts, we'll be a strong Agatha. Um,
Hey, I still wear Chicago Bulls basketball shorts because I'm
yeah,
going to jump like Michael one day.
legit. So we bought the shoes, and I must admit, I did think to myself when they arrived, I really liked them, and they are very nice. Um, they're a very good what I would term a gym shoe.
Hmm.
I'll deadlift in them tomorrow night. I don't think they're any different as far as like I would prefer to barefoot deadlift if I could. I don't think they're like as far as the new notorious lifts and those ones. They're all
Hmm.
muchness to be honest.
Right.
Um, Do I think they're going to add 10 kilos to my deadlift? Absolutely not. Like, but I also think if you feel good because you look good, you'll probably lift well. Um, but yeah, I bought a pair of those, and I was like, "Is this how it starts? Like, is
Yeah,
this how?"
that's a slippery slope from here on in.
Yeah, and I was like, I could never justify the money for an SBD belt, but I was like, you also just did spend $155 on some shoes that probably have the least manufacturing materials in any shoes that you own. But marketing, like,
Yeah,
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 100%. But
it
did
really is.
the
Hey, I said before I'd come back to what you're saying about not seeing people in the crowd.
yeah,
Um, and you'd already mentioned, we'd already talked about Sean Bostock. I remember going out, so 2011, and I would, um, well, actually, the comp was in Melbourne. We're at a really nice hotel downtown, and it was me, Tony Harris from the US, and Brad Gillingham. Were all
yeah,
meant to be attempting world records because it was the first ever Pacific Invitational, and because
yeah,
Raw hadn't started, we were all wearing single ply, and I did bench nationals in the morning. I won. I benched 310, and then I came straight back out to do the Pacific Invitational in the afternoon. And so I come out for squats, and I would be bare knees for my opening squat. I'd have my suit on, but I just didn't like knee wraps that much because
oh yeah,
I just didn't like the knee wraps. And so to make things easier on my opener, I would just not put the knee wraps on. And I remember walking my squat out, bare knees, looking out to find my spot. And as I'm looking up to find my spot, I've looked into the crowd and I've gone, oh, Sean Bostock's here. That's cool. So I used to look for people in the crowd. I was always doing it. So yeah. So Sean
yeah.
was there that day.
I can hear,
And I kind of remember thinking, oh man, I better nail this. Sean
yeah,
Bostock's here. All right, let's
yeah.
get it on. Let's go.
I can hear, like, I literally can't hear anyone. Like, I probably am aware of the spotters,
Hmm.
and my training partner who I train with all the time, she's the only voice that I hear because I know if I've cooked something, she'll, like, I kind of listen for her, because if I hear, like, move your foot or something like that, hers is the only voice though that I could
Yeah,
hear, and there could
yeah.
be like 1,000 voices out there, but it's crazy when people say, and you would probably be the same, when people go, oh, but don't you find it like really intimidating when you've got all those people looking at you? And I'm like, you don't even notice the reps. Like, you don't notice
I
one
don't
of them.
know. I think maybe that's where we're different. I really enjoyed it. I was very aware that people were
Really?
watching. Yeah,
I do.
yeah. I think that's um yeah.
I do
Maybe
on deadlifts. I do on deadlifts. On
right.
deadlifts, squatting, I feel like this is how I feel about squatting. I feel like I need to walk out and go, okay, everyone, just turn around while I squat.
Just and
I
let's
know
just
it's
we'll
not
get
very,
this away. I'll come back later. I'll show you the cool stuff later
yeah,
on.
yeah. This is not very
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing. It gets better, eh? Like,
Oh, yeah, I would always have a lot of fun squatting and like I was always very quiet before I lifted and then I like to celebrate once I hit a lift and so I like
yeah,
to put on I saw it as entertainment in a lot of ways as well.
yeah.
Like people will come in to watch something, I wanted to give them a show. I like to entertain.
Oh,
I used to be right into singing.
yeah,
I was a little bit aspirational of being a performer. So powerlifting got to get that out of me. And so my favorite thing was, especially here in Australia, was getting, I called it the benchgasm. And like you give the crowd an orgasm when you bench. And because it would be everyone comes out and they all hit their openers, and then I'll come out and I'll open 30 or 40 kilos heavier. And it'll look so much easier than everyone else's. And instead of clapping, everyone goes, and
I know.
kind of, and I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. You're
I,
welcome for coming.
I
And
get
so
where,
that was my whole attitude
yeah.
you're welcome. You got to see me.
It's one of the things like deadlifting. So my deadlift opener is normally 30 or 40 kilos heavier than the next person, and
Right. It's a good
like,
feeling, isn't it?
it's amazing. Like when you
Yeah.
hear someone go, and it's only an opener, and you're like, yeah,
You
bitches.
just kind of walk, sort of strut a bit, don't you? You
and,
roll the shoulders a little bit more and go, yeah, that's right.
and then
Yep,
the
that's
worst
me.
is if you act like that and you hear, oh, it's only an opener, and you're like, yeah, about to go and give these people a show, and then you pull it, and it's way harder than you think
It's
it's.
like, oh,
And
it's
then
a show, guys. It's just not a good show.
yeah, and then there's that moment where like I'll never let anyone in on what's going on, but I'll go back and I'll sit in the chair and I'll wait. And in my head I'm like, oh my god, that was really hard. We're in trouble. I brought them. But everyone's like, how was that? And you're like, oh yeah, all day, mate. No worries at all. And you're really like, oh my god, I think I've made a terrible mistake.
You
Uh,
go, oopsie, can I just sneak out now? Like, what's going
yeah,
on? Yeah.
but it's my one, like, I guess it's the thing. I do love it, and it's a different. See, I'm a very aggressive deadlifter, and it comes from, like, for me it really comes from a place of low, like, I'm aware of this. It's not like I need psychological help. It comes from a place of, it's got better over the years, but it generates from that I used to have very low self-worth. So it comes from
Right.
that, and it's my, like I have to get very aggressive to lift heavy like that. So
Mhm.
there's a definite, like, for me it's not, I'm not like off the show, but I like tend to pace and move around, and will get semi aggressive with my handler, and have to like do salts and the whole 9 yards, and this sort of horrible noise usually comes out of me, like sort of semi grunting, like, but it's funny how things become. Do you think in powerlifting things become a bit Pavlovian in regards to, I think I'm a real believer in rhythm and routine, like, as in,
Yeah.
and I think it's interesting how it's like there's a definite noise that comes out of me deadlifting, that only comes out of me deadlifting, and sometimes when it started as like an automated response. It wasn't something that
Yep.
I made happen. It's just a noise that comes out of me. And now sometimes when I'm struggling to find, it's almost like if I try and create that noise, I can create the situation. So it's
Yes.
funny how rhythm and routine is so important, because even on the days that you don't feel it, your rhythm and routine will create it for you. Like,
Yes.
and
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think people, when they first start out powerlifting, it's interesting that, when you watch someone and they like they'll do. Do you know the lifter Tony Anthony Hill? Do you know who I mean?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So you know how he's got that slapping thing that he does. I don't
That's
know.
that young. That's the young guy from Melbourne, right?
Yes.
Is
And
that
so
it?
he
Yeah.
comes out. I've termed it, I hope he doesn't watch this, I've termed it the one man band. Because he comes out and he literally goes quads, quads. I think he goes shoulder, shoulder, chest, chest. And then he does his belt twice. And he does it.
Oh, okay.
He,
Yeah, I hadn't really paid attention.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Now
He
that you
does
mention
it.
it, yep.
He does
Yep.
it the same every time. So he goes, and then he lifts, right? Now, and it's like, you can see in him it's automated, like it's this
Mhm.
real, because
Yes.
he does it, whether it's come from ADHD or where it's come from, he does it exactly the same every time. Now, this year at Nationals, I watched him, and because we were watching him in the gym, and
Mm.
we were getting really excited, and I was like, "Here comes Anthony! He's going to do his one man band! I can't wait! Like, here he goes!" And he didn't do it, and I was like, I started to panic.
Oh
I
no.
was like, "Oh my god, what's happened? Why hasn't he done it?" And then I was like, maybe they've told him he can't do it. You know how sometimes APA is a bit like, don't be aggressive on camera. Like, I was
Well,
like,
no, that's only the coach to the left. The coach can't
yeah.
hit
I was
people in
like,
front of. But you can
maybe he's done it though.
hit yourself
Maybe he's done
as
it.
much as you want.
Yeah, I thought maybe he's done it before he walked out. Like, maybe he's done it and then
Maybe.
walked out. But then, so he did his first squat, because he squatted something huge. He squatted a record. So
Yep.
I think he did it in the 300s on his second. Anyway, came out, did his second, and then he went for something huge on his third. And I was like, it was like 325 or something like that. Anyway, he comes out, and I was like, is he gonna get this? Like, it was real, like. And he comes out, and he did his one man band, and I was so happy. I was like, he's gonna get it now. He's definitely gonna get his squat, like. And it was just for me. It was like I felt better about him getting that squat because he did
He
what he
did his
always
pre-shot
does.
routine, yeah.
Yeah, he did his
Coming from
routine, and I'm not saying that's why he got the squat, but I was like, in that
so
moment,
I came from baseball, and then I played golf, and
yeah,
both of those sports, like pitchers, are really notorious for having routines. As a hitter, I got into the batter's box the same way every time. I warmed up the same way I
yeah,
did. There was always these little triggers, and golf is famous for always doing the same thing before a shot,
yeah,
because you're just trying to search for all these little triggers to trigger that performance. So
yeah,
to answer your question, is it Pavlovian? Yeah, pretty much.
yeah. It's
You're
crazy. Like,
just trying to get all the preconditions for genius all in the same spot.
yeah,
And
it,
if that means that you have to tap your right leg twice, tap your right leg. Like
yeah,
if that's your thing, that's your thing. Um,
it,
they're all superstitions. They don't necessarily mean anything, but having that, like you said, having that rhythm and that routine, it works. And
it
you take it
does.
out. You
Yeah.
take it out. You take something out of that routine. It's not
It's,
going to end well.
it's like, when you hear stories about people get to, because I've, like, people will get somewhere and they've lost their belt and they have to borrow someone's belt for a comp. I would be having a nervous breakdown. I would be like, absolutely not. Like, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. Like, I'll just be
Yeah,
like, I can't.
I got
Even,
so bad that I used to load plates the same way,
oh,
and have like little things like that, like little rituals
so
that I didn't deal well with if they were broken.
I'll tell you this, and this has actually been, this was such a noted thing. It was actually discussed in a podcast. So the one thing that Thomas got used to with me was, so I don't have grip issues. I mixed
Hmm.
grip deadlift. I've got really big hands, and I've never dropped a deadlift. Like, I've never had grip issues. I also did a lot of strongman, and I've just good. Like, it's just not an issue for me, and some people it's just not. So I do worry though, because I've seen people have horrific hand tears at comp. I
Yep.
do have a paranoia about my hands tearing, and it's rarely happened, but I just have this, particularly deadlifting in the heat, because I compete a lot in Queensland. I'm
Hmm.
always really worried about my hand tearing, and I've seen people lose big comps because of torn hands. So I also don't like the idea of being uneven from having mixed grip, like as in what it
Hmm.
does to your body. So I always deadlift in straps, figure sixes, always
Yep.
from 170 kilos. The only time I don't deadlift in straps is on the platform at a comp.
Wow,
Yep,
that's impressive.
yep.
Very impressive.
But the reason is because when I walk out onto the platform and set my mixed grip, my brain goes, "Oh yeah, it's time. It's time."
Ah,
Like,
that's the key bit,
and
right?
there's something
That's
in
key.
me. I wind my hands on, and I'm like, "Here we go. Like, it is time. It's big girl time now. Like,
Hmm.
here we go."
Yep.
Trying to convince a new coach that it's okay. I don't need to deadlift, like, 4 weeks coming into comp, and Brian's like, "You really need to do your top sets without straps." I'm like, "It's okay. I don't need, it's fine. Trust me." And he's like, "I don't trust you." And I'm like, "No, no, it'll be okay. It'll be okay." Trying to can you imagine, even like you now as a coach, if an athlete said to you, "I'm not taking straps off until I walk out onto the platform every time," you'd be like, "I don't think so, buddy."
I
Like,
would I would want to know that I'm talking, yeah, if I'm there's a couple of guys I know that did that a lot, but
yeah,
they also have some of the biggest hands on the planet. Like when
yeah,
I shake hands with this
yeah,
one particular family, they can do it. They can do
yeah,
whatever the hell they want.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but if some newbie goes, yeah, I use them all the time, I go, are you sure? Are you sure? But if
And
someone like you says, yeah, I deadlift 600 pounds
yeah,
often, I'm
yeah.
going, you can do
You do
whatever
what
you
you
damn
want.
well please. Like the
Yeah.
rules don't apply to you anymore.
So
You get to
imagine
write you get to
how
write rules now.
imagine now, since Brian's been on the scene and now he'll make me do like 4 or 5 weeks out. He'll make me do like a top set without the straps. You've never seen someone so melodramatically walk away from the bar, acting like their skin has torn off the palm of their hands 7 millimeters deep. I like walk away and I'm like, like this. And he's like, I could just imagine him watching the videos. And then like I'll put it on Instagram and someone will be like, oh, did your hands tear? And I'll be like, nah, it just really hurts. Like, I don't know how you guys do
it's
this all the time.
spiky. It's
Yeah.
spiky.
And the other week, one of my hands, I'm pretty good with taking care of my calluses, but the other week one of my hands did tear, and I was like, "That's all your fault, Brian. It's all your fault."
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, if I had had straps on, I won't be able to deadlift now for weeks. Like,
Wow.
but yeah.
So Brian, let's because we started with Brian. Let's finish with Brian. I
Yeah.
just looked at the
Yeah.
time. I don't want to keep you up
Yeah.
too late. Brian and I met when Brian first started powerlifting when he was very, very young.
Yeah.
He trained at PTC. I just moved from Karratha to Perth, and I'd train out there every now and then.
Yeah.
And I have not met anybody that's been asked to leave a gym as often as Brian did.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Early Brian was something else. I really liked him. I was always on Team Brian. I thought he got picked on a little bit, but Brian, yeah.
Wow, because I've only known
but
Brian.
I think Brian is cool as shit. He's such a nice guy.
Oh,
I've always liked him. And
absolute top.
And so then when I saw he was doing really, really well as a coach, I was kind of a little bit proud of him.
Yeah.
Because I think he's cool. But yeah, he there's some stories out there about Brian.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I've only known of Brian since he retired. I'm obviously very aware he was.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I never actually saw Brian compete. So when I met Brian, he'd sort of finished competing, and then I knew of him as a coach, not so much as an athlete. And so it's funny because Ari will tell me, he was like, you've got no idea how jacked Brian was, like the size.
Yeah.
And because he did crazy cuts too, didn't he? Because he went from
Yep.
like low 80s to 100 to like 85, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think I met Brian at around 80 kilos.
Yeah.
So before he tried any of those things as well.
Yeah, because I think that's what he is now. Like, I think that's what he walks around at about now.
He's back down to 80 kilos.
Yeah.
So healthy again. So that's good.
Yeah. He's been really healthy for quite some time, and
that's great to hear.
Yeah. Had a baby. Like, Hamilton's like just turned 1. Like, yeah, and like we actually had a joke the other day because I like coach client stuff. You rag on him like he had a breakaway and he still trains all the time. Like, he's got a good home gym. And I always comment on he put a training video up, and I'll be like, oh, that looks a bit like, what's going on there, Chief? And then the other day, he admitted to me the other day, he was deadlifting the other day because he used to sumo, obviously, and he's been doing conventional. And I always say, because I'm a conventional puller, and I always say to him, God's lift, it's the only deadlift that counts. And the other day he was like, my goal is to outpull you by the end of the year. And I was like, well, it's good to have goals, Chief. Like,
we all need an ambition in life,
Yeah. He's got a really good, just to finish the podcast, he's got a really good, he's had him since Pro Raw. He's got a really good natty. Does again does open comps, but does tested APL. So natty, 100% natty has always been. He's just come. So he won overall junior at APL Nats 2 years in a row. Jacob Tapp, his name is. He's always been a really good lifter. He won Pro Raw under 80s this year. Under 80s this year. It was his first Pro Raw and he won. And Brian's had him since March, and he's an 82.5 kilo lifter. I think he's 24. Lifetime natty. He pulled 290 at Pro Raw, squatted 280, benched 165. And just watching him with Brian, so Brian's been coaching him since March, the change in
Mm-hmm.
just his physical appearance, just with some different coaching and just a different coaching style, just the change in him as a lifter. But when we're talking about the excitement, when you've got people you train with and you watch in the gym and you're like, I can't wait to see this kid for the next 5 years. Like, I'm so
Yep.
excited. Like, and we're doing a
That
comp.
was that was how I felt about training with Brian and Darwin when they started
Yeah.
powerlifting.
And how isn't Darwin just the nicest individual?
Nah, I don't know how Darwin has a liver personally. I've watched that guy. His junk food consumption is just he, you would think it would show in his skin or something, or he would get fat and unhealthy, but
Nah.
the dude is just I don't know. It's like impressive genetics, and
I've told him.
he's such a nice he's such a nice guy. I really
He,
like him.
we had a chat the other day. He's having a break for a while. He's just lost a bit of the passion, I think, and
Hmm.
so he's going to have a break away from powerlifting for a while. And I said to him, "It's okay. He's still my number one Asian powerlifter."
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, his squat stance is something else.
yeah,
Like it's just
it's crazy.
maybe
Hey,
maybe you could get wider. Maybe if you tried work, like I don't know how you could get wider than what he squats.
no,
But it works. Like he makes it work.
yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
cool.
He does.
Yeah.
It was funny at when he did Zero Pro the year I did Zero Pro, and he didn't have a great comp and he really struggled. I think what people didn't realize is, and I think a lot of people won't realize this. So Darwin squats wider than a combo. So
Yes.
Darwin,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
No.
people are like, why is Darwin struggling so much? Darwin has to walk back further than the combo. Like,
He's walking back several meters. He's going for a
yeah,
hike before he
yeah.
can squat.
Everyone's like, why is he struggling so much? I'm like, he can't just step back. He has to step back out of the combo, like right out of it, because his squat stance is so wide. And it's just, yeah, when you haven't seen it in the flesh, like, and then you actually, like, we've done a couple of comps together, Darwin and I, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. But
Yeah, I'm certainly not taking any responsibility for it, but when Darwin started when he was quite young, I may have mentioned the fact that Chuck Vogapol used to touch his toes to the monolift when he squatted.
yeah, Darwin
So
would be very close.
and
And
so
I'm not
and
that.
so Darwin tried to do it because we told him that that's what Chuck V did. I'm
I,
like, hey, if you can do it, go for it,
yeah,
man. Like that's awesome. That's
in
awesome.
saying that, like, I always had a wide stance, but then when I started with Brian, Brian brought it out more. And so I'd be the mono the legs of the mono are closer to me than they are further away. So
Yeah, okay. So you're
yeah,
out there as well.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
I'd be over a meter wide. Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow! So just looking at the time, we've been talking for 2 hours
yeah.
and 22
Oh,
minutes. So I think
yeah,
we should probably call it that.
yeah,
It's been oh, let's see. I'll see if I can wrap it up here. Give somebody a message. I don't know. Um, I've really liked just getting to know somebody in a different federation, even though we sort of overlapped with the IPF for a while. But I think this is really good evidence that it's just powerlifters chatting, and we're all about the same thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic getting to know you, Lydia. Hopefully, when I come to Hobart, hopefully I'll make it to Hobart for bench nationals this year, and we'll get together and I can watch you deadlift, and you can watch me do my version of what I call deadlifting. May or may not be deadlifting.
Yeah,
It
look,
might be like what I'll squat, you can deadlift. How about that?
yeah, no, that's okay. Look,
We'll we'll do we'll do
I'll
team
buy
training.
yeah, I'll buy you a beer for the sake of international relations because powerlifting's one big happy family.
That's right. Let's put it at that. Powerlifting really is one big happy family.
All right.
Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thanks, Nathan.
Dead said that was cool. That was really cool.